Good morning, everybody. Welcome to 2025 and the start of my first big birding year. My goal this year is to see 200 species, and I will be documenting it as best I can for you guys and taking you along to some cool places. Primarily on the Northeast, obviously. I'm from Pennsylvania, so a lot of Pennsylvania and potentially some New Jersey as well. We are starting in Bucks County at Pine Run Reservoir, and the main reason being there are a couple of sandhill cranes here, and I would love my first species of 2025 to be a lifer like the sandhill crane. We'll see how many other species we can get. I'm aiming for 2 spots here today, Pine Run Reservoir and Pine Valley Reservoir, I believe it is, or Peace Valley Park. Sorry, my bad. It's early. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me for a whole new series on this channel and something that I'm going to be taking very, very seriously this year. I've been birding since I was a kid, but recently discovered bird photography, and it's really been a huge game changer in my life, and I have been very obsessive and addicted to it, and I absolutely love it. So now let's get out there and see some sandhill cranes, guys. I saw them already walking near my car, and I'm very excited. They're just off the side of the road over here, and it's going to be awesome. I am so excited to take some photographs of them. Now, in terms of the rules for this, obviously I want to try and photograph and video them for me and for you guys and for eBird and all that good stuff. But if I hear a blue jay, a bird I've seen a billion times, I will count that and I will put it on the lifer, or the actual counter probably up here. I'm still playing around with where I want to do it. And then if it's a lifer, obviously, or a rare bird, I definitely want to try and videotape it. If I get a Merlin ping for a certain bird, which is obviously audio ID, if it's something common and I know what it is, then I'll probably count it. But obviously something rare, something lifer, I'm going to try and get video or photo proof for my sake, for yours, for eBird, etc. Now, if I'm driving and I happen to see a pigeon, a Cooper's hawk, starling, some common stuff, I'll probably count those and I'll just do an update when they happen. But yeah, I'm very excited, guys. So let's go start our 200 bird big year.
Yeah, even now, some people make noises to try to get their heads up and stuff. You just wait a few minutes.
All right, just got down here to the reservoir. Looks like a great blue heron, some ring-billed gulls, maybe a herring gull, not sure yet. Canadian geese, a couple different mergansers, but yeah, we have a pretty good day started today. Some crows flying over, so I mean, to start off 2025 with a lifer is definitely an awesome way to start this year off, and hopefully we can keep capturing that magic. All right, mostly frozen, but we just finished up. Excuse me. Amazing. Seeing the sandhill crane as my very first species for the year, it really sets it up to hopefully be something special. Ooh, sorry. Getting over a nasty cold and standing out there in 30-mile-an-hour, or I should say 20-mile-an-hour gusts and 30-degree day, that'll get the lungs working. But yeah, 1 new lifer, 11 species overall, including a belted kingfisher and a lesser black-backed gull, which is actually an uncommon one for sure. So nice to get that crossed off early. There was supposedly an immature bald eagle. Couldn't find it. A northern harrier, which also would have been a lifer, couldn't find it. So unfortunately, with the wind and everything, it is a little bit tougher, but we're going to head to a different location in the area. But yeah, 11 birds. Can't be mad about that when there's a lifer involved, like the sandhill crane. Very excited. That's an awesome way to start off the year, and hopefully we can keep going. I'm going to try and put my eBird total. I'm going to try and get that to put on the screen, but we'll see. But yeah, we'll see how the actual outro for these things go. I'm going to make it up as I go along. I have an outro screen obviously ready to go, but I kind of want to do some maybe ground roll footage and stuff like that. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me on my very first bird hunt. All right, we're at Peace Valley Park, another really good birding spot in Bucks County. Never been here before either. We're doing a couple new life lists today, so we're 11 species into the year. This is trial number 2. I don't want to hesitate too much. So let's get out there and hopefully we find a new lifer, but hey, I'm just in for a good time. All right, stumbled upon a
a really, really nice patch of like backyard birds. So the only one I didn't get a picture of, sadly, was the red-bellied woodpecker. I did count it because I saw it clearly. My camera was unfortunately just off. I was actually swapping out a lens. But I did see him. There was a Carolina wren calling in the distance. Couldn't quite get it on the camera as well. But I did get a quick video recording of the audio. Obviously, I'll see a million of both of them this year, so not too rare. Carolina chickadee knocked off. Hairy or downy woodpecker, I honestly have to look closer at my photos once I'm done. Song sparrow, white-throated sparrow, eastern bluebird, one of my favorite birds in the world, and there was only one of them and it flew off once I got here. Cedar waxwing, red-tailed hawk. I think I said Carolina chickadee. Yeah, I mean, I might be missing a couple. The song sparrow came right up to me. That was pretty nice. No junco yet, but we'll definitely get one. If not here, you know, somewhere soon. That was quite a haul. I don't even know what that brings us up to on the year, but that was a really good showing. I almost forgot. Northern Flicker, another one knocked off as well. There's like 4 bouncing around, and I just cannot get a decent picture of one or a video of one, but I'm desperately trying. But that is another species knocked off the list, as well as a cardinal. 10 of them sitting in here, but yeah, we're doing pretty well for our first day. All right, just finished up at Peace Valley Park for the first time. It was amazing. Lesser black-backed gull, greater black-backed gull as well, and the rare one, common loon. I got a quick video, but I tracked that sucker for over a mile on like the little rough beaches up there just to see, because it was like, I knew it was the beak style of a loon, but with 500 plus common mergansers, you got to be careful. I tracked that one forever, and you know, I got some pictures thankfully, and like I said, a really quick video. But yeah, that was pretty productive. I think we finished with about 20 species overall, 19 to 20, not all new but mostly new. So yeah, that was quite productive. Now there's a rare bird about an hour and a half from here towards my direction of work, and I don't know if I want to risk that before work or not, but we shall see. Nothing says opening day of the year for birders like showing up in 40-mile-an-hour gusts, freezing. My phone battery's low. Haven't eaten yet today. I'm responsible. I've had like 2 snack sticks and a coffee because I'm responsible. So we've got the windstorm going on the side, all because of a report about an immature long-tailed duck, which is an absolute bucket lister for me. Rare to this area. Never seen one before, and just knocked it off the bucket list, and I'm so excited. It took so long to find because of the waves and everything right now. And my car's on, very low on gas. My phone's almost dead. My main cavalry battery's dead. We've expended a lot of resources, and I get to go to work now. So, you know, that was an awesome first day for everything. This is going to be just like a little added in bonus at Scotts Run Lake in French Creek, Pennsylvania. It's just going to be a few photos, quick video, because it's really rough, and half the video I literally couldn't do anything because that wind is just obscene. So I had to switch to a shorter lens to get everything and stuff like that. But yeah, another bucket lister and another lifer off the board. January 1st, 2025. That is an awesome way to start the year, guys. Awesome. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel for another birding update. If you're new to the channel, this is my very first big birding year of trying to see 200 species of birds in 1 year, and I'm very excited for it. We're a little bit over 30 after the first day, and we're heading to a quote-unquote secret kind of location. It is between two levels of private property. One, since it's a construction quarry, is owned by a massive construction organization, and the other half is all private property by homes, and then across from it is private property by the township. So quite literally there's one little small spot for birding, and that is pretty much it. I'm not going to take pictures or anything of the location. If you know where it is, great. It's a nice spot. Keep it that way. All right, well, that was a very successful trip to the secret location / quarry. We knocked off another 6 species, possibly a 7th. Have to do some IDing at home. It was a very far distance away, so obviously not all the photos and video and stuff are going to be great, just because I'm pushing 600mm lens with a crop sensor, and it's still tough to get them, so it is what it is. But ring-necked duck, house sparrow, which I did not include a photo of for one main reason. It was in front of somebody's house, and I'm not going to be that guy to take a picture of a house sparrow in front of a window. Don't be that guy. Double-breasted or double-crested cormorant, ring-necked duck, American coot, and American pin or northern pintail, and the redhead. I think I doubled one. Whatever. We're up to 39 species on the year now. So I also did, like I said in the intro, knocked off European starling and rock pigeon. They're on the drive here right down the street. I'm not going to pull off the side of the road for those two. We'll take photos of them eventually. But a very successful trip to the quarry here. And like I said, we're almost to 40 species, or potentially already at 40 species in the first 2 days. So very happy about that. I also can't talk because I've been out in the cold for over an hour, and I'm going to go drink an iced coffee now because I have problems. But yeah, if I'm a little bit hard to understand, quite literally cannot feel my lips or nose. So I'm a safe person. But yeah, happy birding, everybody. Hello everybody, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of my first 200 species big bird year. I'm looking at a pitch of birds over here already, so we're going to do a quick intro and get out there. Fortunately and unfortunately, the species number 42, the snow goose, just flew over me as soon as I was driving here. Obviously I couldn't take a picture of that while driving, but species 42 off the board. I actually took some pictures of them in a farm field, and I think I got maybe a couple usable videos, so I will put them in here after this so you guys can see them. But that is species, I believe, 42 already on the year, and this is January 3rd, so we're on a pretty good stretch right now. I've been looking at the eBird leaders for the country and stuff like that. My god, you guys are insane. I can't even fathom 160 birds in one day already. It's just unbelievable. But hey, if we do a big year 1 year, that's the kind of mentality we're gonna have. So we practice for that now. But I'm really excited. A couple species I'm hoping to see here. Blue jay, which is obviously very common, but I have not gotten it yet. Same thing with the house finch. Pileated woodpecker, hairy woodpecker, I believe I'm still missing.
as well as a couple others like a dark-eyed junco, all very common. The toughest two that I'm gonna have to start searching for a little bit more are brown creeper and a winter wren, both of which are not lifers for me, but they are notoriously difficult to find given that they are extremely tiny, really little brown guys. One's basically a ping pong ball with legs, and the other, the brown creeper, is really tough to find. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of bird activity at one of the feeders over here put up by, I believe, by the burrow. I can at least see some cardinals and some juncos, so hopefully we're going to knock off close to our 50th species today. This is going to be Kutztown, Pennsylvania, North Park. Beautiful spot, decent parking, some bathrooms as well. So yeah, really nice spot if you're in the area. But now let's get out there, everybody.
Alright, we're doing pretty well so far. Crossed off black-capped chickadee, hairy woodpecker, got a picture of a red-bellied woodpecker. We have a blue jay calling right up here. You guys might be able to hear it. And I tried desperately to get a picture of a golden-crowned kinglet. It is a very hard bird to photograph just because they are never not bouncing around like little bouncy balls. But I might have gotten one where you can actually see the golden mohawk. But if not, I'm probably going to throw one in for my session a couple days ago, just so you guys at least have an idea of what it looks like. But yeah, we're crossing off some good species today. I saw one junco, and it flew off as soon as I was setting up, so we did cross that off, but no picture for him yet. I'm not too worried about a junco. We're going to see about 1 billion of them, and they're one of my favorite little birds for winter, but, you know, I'm not going to spend an hour trying to photograph a little junco, because I know I'm going to get them in a couple days. But yeah, we're having a pretty good start to the day here. It is very, very cold again here in Pennsylvania, but hey, it happens in winter, right? Alright, well, just had a really awesome back-to-back sequence. The biggest flock/gaggle of snow geese I've ever seen just flew overhead, and I'm talking 3,000 plus, which is obviously small given Middle Creek in Pennsylvania, but very, very cool. I did get a couple shots. Hopefully they got well of them flying over. They were so high up that it was incredibly hard to get like a focus on them, so hopefully you got them. And then might have missed out on the winter wren today. However, just did get a nice uncommon bird, which was the field sparrow. Not what I expected to see today. Got a pretty clear shot. I had a Merlin ping for it a couple times, and I'm like, all right, I'll see. Just because it was a little quiet. Like I heard a different call, but wanted to idea, and thankfully I think it was a female, flew just like tree right next to me, got a quick photo before the geese came overhead, and I got pretty distracted. But yeah, pretty good find for the day.
All right, well, that was another pretty successful bird hunt. Very excited for that. We are up to 49 on the year now. That field sparrow obviously made up for no winter wren and no pileated woodpecker, because that was an uncommon find. So I'm very excited about that. I was hoping for 50 even today, but hey, we're still hanging in there. We have quite a few more common species around us. I know there's a park, Grings Mill in Wyomissing, that I definitely want to do a video at pretty soon. I was going to try and do so today, but I'm already an hour behind because of that field sparrow and all the snow geese and everything else. But yeah, from snow geese to the field sparrow, finally knocked off blue jay, the hairy woodpecker, and obviously quite a few others, the golden crowned kinglet, the house finch, etc. So very good start to our year at 49. Obviously we could have plenty of more, but hey, it is what it is. I'm planning potentially a pretty solid trip this weekend to grab quite a few species, and then another one next weekend. So yeah, quite a bit forward. Thank you all so much for joining me for another Bird Watching Wednesday video in my quest to find 200 species of birds this year. Thank you all so much. Make sure you get out there, enjoy nature, keep birds safe, and everything else. So thank you guys guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Happy birding, everybody. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel for another birding big year update. We are doing extremely well, and in a few minutes, ooh, a bird just flew by. In a few minutes, you're going to wonder why I'm dressed very different here than I was in this video. That is because in all of my excitement, sickness with the flu or whatever I had, and just the weather being absolutely dreadful, I forgot to do an intro. So for this episode, I traveled to Philadelphia, which is about a couple hours or so, given the horrible traffic, and the fact that my Google Maps had an episode halfway through and sent me the wrong way and then backward. It was a long day. But there are a couple species in particular that made the trip to Philly. So painted bunting, not a bird you see in the Northeast or Pennsylvania especially, let alone in winter time. There is a male that for the past 3 years, I believe it is, has been coming to Bartram's Garden in Philadelphia, which is a little bit of a sketchier area on the outside. The park itself is fine, but definitely be wary when you're driving through there. And on my way into the park, I did cross off a Merlin for the year, so that was very cool. I'll have to have the little species tracker up there for that. But yeah, I did forget to do my intro. I went down for the painted bunting, pine warbler, orange crowned warbler, I believe it was. And then after that, a trip to the John Hines Wildlife Refuge, which, if you know anything about Pennsylvania or birding in the Northeast, is very, very much arguably the top spot in Pennsylvania and one of the best spots in the Northeast for birding. It's fantastic, especially for waterfowl, but for warblers and everything else. But yeah, I wanted to do obviously a quick intro, so sorry. Yes, we have new birding attire now. I went out and grabbed a bunch of new stuff, so I'm very excited for that. But yeah, I'm actually doing another birding hunt right now for a couple common species closer to where I live. So yeah, let's get out there in the Philly video. I hope you guys are enjoying the series. I'm off to a banner year as of recording this, so it's absolutely awesome, and I love making these video guys, and hopefully you guys enjoy them too. So like, comment, subscribe, and share the video, and follow me on Instagram if you guys are interested in keeping along with my 200 species goal for the year, or just all of my photography and travels alone. Yeah, got plenty of stuff coming to you guys. Now let's get out there in the cold. All right, the painted bunting was thankfully a success, thanks to everybody else. So Jeff, and everybody I didn't get the name of, thank you all. We are at the John Hines Wildlife Refuge, just outside of the Philly airport as well. Again, not the greatest area in the world, so we're going to try and get out of here around 4 o'clock. That way, 4:30 at the latest. That way I can be out of here by nighttime, for obvious reasons. But yeah, we're hoping to cross off a couple more, maybe life species here, but a couple more for the year as well. I also got a Merlin while driving to the garden to see the painting bunting, so that is another species. I couldn't get it because, traffic lights and all, but yeah, I was hunting some pigeons, it looked like. It was pretty cool. So yeah, let's get out there in the wildlife refuge, and hopefully John Hines has some great things in store for us. No luck on the Brant reported on the big observation boardwalk here, but we did get a nice video and some pictures of northern pintails, which are some of my favorite ducks. But yeah, we're gonna keep motoring here. Very, very cold, but it's beautiful. There's apparently a red-shouldered hawk that nests here, and a northern harrier, so those would both be lifers as well. Apparently a pied-billed grebe, and potentially, I think he said a horned grebe, but we're making our way around. Make sure you do visit the visitor center here. Grab a t-shirt, magnet, or something. Help support the beautiful place. I just picked up a couple things from there on my way in.
All right, it is about time to wrap things up here at the John Hines Wildlife Refuge. We're at the marsh area. Obviously, it's winter time, so not much going on out here. Crossed off the northern harrier, the pipe-billed grebe, and the horned grebe, all of which were lifers. I had my first goldfinch of the year. Sadly, did not get a photo of the harrier. It flew over, and I fumbled it. It was bad, but it was really nice to see one in person finally. Well, it's very cold, so I'm a little bit hard to understand. That's my bad, but it's beautiful out here. I definitely needed a full day. I should have just went for it. Should have sucked it up this morning. Said, oh well. And, it happens, but we crossed off quite a few lifers today. We'll be pushing, I think, 60 by the end of this. I'd honestly have to look. I've been too busy just mowing all these pictures down, and we got some beautiful footage of the northern shovelers as well. So yeah, very, very cool. But I will leave up the total for the year either up here or somewhere on the end screen. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me, and if I throw in something after this, it's because something amazing happened on my way back. But yeah, thank you guys so much, and make sure you get out there, be safe, and happy birding. I guess the outro brought me luck. Sitting all the way in the tree, I just saw his head pop up, just got a nice photo. Bald eagle overlooking the marsh. Awesome. Well, couldn't have asked for a better finish than that. Alright, hello everybody. Sorry, the sun is not going to do my lighting any favors, but welcome to Grings Mill. We do a lot of birding here, honestly. This is the first of 2025. We're trying to cross off a few more species before I have to work in a couple, I should say about an hour from now. Pileated woodpecker we still need, yellow-bellied sapsucker, which is kind of the best spot for it around here. Wood duck, haven't seen them in about a month, but I'm hoping that they're still here. But maybe even a winter wren would be very nice. We just got to watch some golden crowned kinglets back there. Sadly, no photos. They were super high up in a very dense tree, and all you could see was like the little feet. But very, very cute. But yeah, we're hoping to cross off a couple more species as of recording this. Obviously, it's not about the numbers, but it's still cool to see. I'm the 22nd most prolific birder so far in Pennsylvania as of recording this, so we're hanging in there. We are a little bit over 60 species after that really awesome Philadelphia trip. So yeah, hopefully we're going to cross off some more today. Well, I'm very excited to say species number 62 for the year off the board. Yellow-bellied sapsucker. I thought I saw one from a few trees away. Followed them for a bit. Got some nice video for you guys and some nice photos finally. They're notoriously hard for me to ever find or capture. So finally. It is bitterly cold out here. Got a ton of juncos, white-throated sparrows, but it is almost at the end of my time here. Sadly, no other new species yet. It's a little quiet aside from the sparrows and the juncos, but we are expecting some pretty nasty snow tomorrow, so we'll see how that changes the birds' behaviors. But yeah, I'm going to take a quick lap down to one more spot here and see if we can't get some wood ducks. Alright, double success. Winter wren, I'm not sure if the photos got, but I was trying to take a picture of a couple mourning doves that were actually like eye level, and it was going to be perfect. And then I saw the little winter wren popping in and out of like a little shelter, and I took a bunch, but I honestly don't know if they got. But hey, that's another species on the year. The kingfisher is busy. Just watched him go by with a little fry, so that was pretty cool. Got a lot today, species-wise, but those two big ones, that's going to be great for the year. Alright, well that's going to do it for this video, guys. Sorry, it's probably going to be a pretty short one, but a lot of species, including that winter wren, which I was super worried about getting, and the yellow-bellied sapsucker. So we'll get the pileated woodpecker and wood duck one of these days for sure. Even if it has to be a different season, we will get to them eventually. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video to follow along on my 200 bird journey, and follow me on Instagram to get all the updates on all the photography, birds, and everything else. And I'll see you next time. Happy birding, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my big birding year for another episode. Today, we're in Berks County once again, which is where I'm from, so I know the area pretty well. This is Lake Onalani, a spot that if you've seen me on this channel before, I've birded at multiple times and fished at quite regularly, or at least I did. This lake is going through quite the invasive species problem right now between northern snakeheads in the fish department and the double-crested cormorants. Between those two species and the rampant overfishing, let's call it what it is, this lake has been really struggling and is an IBA, and if you don't know what that is, it is an important birding area, so it is recognized by the ABA, the Game Commission, etc. as a very important spot. Now, we are here today. It's about 11 degrees, I think it feels like, looking for a couple common species, or uncommon, depending on where you're from. Yellow-rumped warbler, which there's one at the beginning of this trail all the time, so I'm hoping I can finally get a picture of one of them, and a pileated woodpecker. Now, the lake is mostly frozen over, so in terms of waterfowl, probably not going to do too much, but I'm at an interesting and difficult spot with my birding time. I have focused extremely heavily on waterfowl and ducks and whatever local like shorebirds and stuff, and it's done extremely well, and that is what I'm best at, is ducks. They're my absolute favorite. But now comes the time for hunting sparrows and tiny songbirds, brown on brown on brown. So definitely not my area of expertise, and it's easier for me to get a picture of a duck in the middle of a lake than it is a beginning photographer to take a picture of a tiny sparrow that is brown in that. So I will do as best I can to get some photos and videos, but just know that I'm now going to have to transition a little bit towards hunting these birds in these woods. Obviously extremely cold, so I'm always a little bit hard to understand at this time. But yeah, thank you all for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and remember to turn on that bell notification so you know when all these new episodes come out. Spoiler alert, 11 a.m. Eastern time on Wednesdays. So bird watching Wednesdays. Finally a thing. Lo and behold, there are some white birds out there. So I'm interested to see what they are. They are out pretty far. But yeah, I'm interested to see what we can get here today. We are sitting pretty at 22nd in Pennsylvania for birding right now. And again, I will always say it's not about the numbers, it's about the birding. But I am nothing if not a competitive man. So yeah, let's get out there and get some awesome finds, guys. Alright, so very, very exciting, and one bout of slight disappointment for us today. So, got the yellow-rumped warbler, a species that has eluded me for a photo long before I was doing YouTube videos for it. And if you can hear the Carolina Wrens and the Blue Jays are yelling at me, hello. And I crossed off a new lifer today. Now, American pipit. Essentially looks like a little sparrow. Sometimes see them around here with horned larks, a species that also eludes me. Hello, plenty of wrens in here. Ooh, that could be a winter wren, I'll have to look. However, I heard a call, registered on Merlin as a pipit, and I said, all right, that's interesting. Definitely not what I expected in here, and played the call quietly to myself a little bit, and that was it. That was what I heard. And I said, all right, I would like to photograph this. Obviously, it's a lifer for me. And I saw it, and it flew away, and I don't think I got a photo of it, sadly, but that is a new lifer, and I really wish I could have photographed it. And I have to go out that way. It was mixed in with a bunch of sparrows, and trying to pick it out in that brush, and that's what I was saying when I first got here, that it's tough that you have to pick them out of the brush piles and everything. But we got two new species on the year today, so yellow-rumped warbler and that American pipit. I really hope I can photograph it before I leave, or maybe I got the butt end of it or something, but I'm not holding my breath. Whew. couldn't do so in this cold anyway. But yeah, pretty good start, you know, for the day here. I'm doing it like mid-afternoon into the evening, so kind of like the last light. Not great for photography, but sometimes you can get the last little feeding light for the birds. I just had a lot to do today on day 2 of the vacation, but I'm sure you can hear the many Carolina wrens. But yeah, even if we don't get anything else in this trip, between the kinglets and the blue jays and the wrens, none of them have been cooperating for photographs. Just the warbler and a couple ring-billed gulls. Those were the birds sitting out there on the ice. But yeah, I'll see what I can do for the last little bit of light I got here.
All right, Berks County spot number 2 on the day. Sorry, I'm a little hard to understand, apparently. I stopped along one of the Wyomissing Park trails. Now, this is Meadow Trail and Summit Trail. I've had good luck here before, and if I could pick up the American Kestrel that I've seen here before, that would be amazing. But apparently, the wood ducks that I always watched in the Tulpahawken Creek, I have not been able to find them for like a month now, and they might have moved to a different spot. However, they have been reported, I believe, in late December, and this is early January, along the Wyomissing Creek. Obviously, ducks move, so we'll see if we can find them, but overall, let's just hope for some birds out here.
Alright, sadly, we are at the end of the light here for the day. The yellow-rumped warbler and American pipit were the only 2 that we crossed off. Got some nice photos of a red-tailed hawk, and there's some deer walking up to me now, because that's what they do here. But yeah, other than that, not too much new to report. I'm going to have to come back here either tomorrow or in a couple days when it's brighter out. I found some very promising owl trees, and sadly nothing home, but at least I did find a couple. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Alright, well, just finished up at the first portion of it. Sadly, the wildlife drive is closed right now. I did not know that it was closed until a couple months or so, so that's disappointing, but we did get tundra swans, plenty of them, some beautiful footage of huge thousands of flocks of snow geese, some American black ducks, some mallards, a bald eagle, northern harrier, American kestrel, which I did not get a photo of because it was when I was actually parking in Colonial Space. But I did get my first ever picture of the American falcon, and it looks through camera preview like it's an absolute beauty. So I'm currently hunting American tree sparrow and white-crowned sparrow. We're going to see if we can get them, but it is a beautiful day, and I'm trying to get as many photos for you guys as I can in all this lovely wind.
I love it when birds take off. There's a bunch of eagles down there too. I think the harrier's face is a little bit bigger.
All right, well, the main body of water was a success. One lifer. I was hoping for maybe something else, but we'll see. I got to ID that raptor yet that was flying. Probably an immature bald eagle, but we can see. Now it's time to hunt sparrows. My favorite thing in the world through the wind in the woods. So hopefully going to cross off at least one more species today. But, you know, no guarantees in this weather, and I've about an hour and a half left to get hunting. So let's get out there.
All right, so I still have to ID that raptor, maybe a goose or two. That just looked a little bit different. I stopped at the Shillington Park. Just on my way back, I had a couple things to do in the area, and I said, you know what, I've only ever birded here once, and it was very disappointing, very slow. However, I think I just had some pretty good luck. It flew right at my feet over to like these trees here, and it was like the shape of a thrush, in my opinion. So I followed it for a while and followed it, and sadly it didn't pop back up until it flew in the tree above me, and it was on a little bit of coverage, and the lighting's not very good in here just because of the shade and stuff, but I'm pretty sure it's a hermit thrush. So that would be awesome. Definitely not what I expected today, but yeah, that's why I came here. You never know what sparrows and stuff you're going to get in the brush piles.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of my 200 Big Birding Year. I'm attempting to see 200 species of birds for the very first time this year for 2025, and it's almost the end of January. You guys will see this probably in February, and we are at one of the best spots on the East Coast, which is Barnegat Lighthouse State Park. I'm extremely excited. There's a lot of good birds that have been seen here recently, so I'm hoping we can get some lifers. There's a common eider that's been seen here, so I would absolutely love to see one of them. Some sandpipers, but we're trying to knock off just quite a bit of shorebirds and stuff for the year. As of now, I'm at 79 species. I am sad to say I had to delete one of mine from a few days ago, which was the Iceland gull. Sadly, went through all the photos with a couple guys, and nothing that we could really prove was an Iceland gull. So sadly, we did have to delete that one. However, I did get a sharp-shinned hawk, which is number 79 on the year. So net positive for that day, but it's sad, but I don't obviously want to put a bird that I couldn't identify. So even though I thought I saw one fly past, and I could have no photo evidence or anything like that, so we're not going to count the Iceland gull from Blue Marsh, but we are going to count the sharp-shinned hawk on my drive to work the other day, or actually drive back. It was chasing down a pigeon, which was pretty cool to watch. But yeah, let's get out there, and it's not too bad today. It's in the 30s. That's way warmer than it has been here for a while, so hopefully we knock off some lifers and some good birds, guys.
Definitely seeing some blue iridescent. Oh, here's one right next to us.
Do the eiders land again, or they just? So I would love to see one.
going to have
Right.
bright orange legs.
Okay, well, they're both lifers, so I will take that.
Yeah. This is the best day, and then the scops.
All right, it's been just almost died in some ice. It's been just non-stop birding here since I got here. There's gonna be tons of footage and videos and pictures and stuff of all the shorebirds, and it was amazing. Crossed off everything off of my list. There was one issue with the harlequin duck where there was only one, and there were duck hunters in the area, so it made it really tough. I saw one through somebody else's scope. I took a picture in the general area just because it was super far offshore, but we did get our harlequin duck. So in case that picture didn't work out, I'll have to, add the little species total here. Now I'm going to do a really cool side trail in hopes of just seeing some yellow-rumped warblers up close, and maybe some cool sparrows, and a red-breasted nuthatch would be the lifer I'm attempting to grab today. So hopefully we can get at least one of those through this pretty cool trail. But we are having an awesome career day here. All right, so as of looking at it right now, I think I'm at 29 to 30 species here today, including 8 lifers and 6 year ticks. So 14 new birds today for the year or overall in my life. So that has been fantastic. Barnegat State Park has definitely made my day. Now I'm going to go through all the pictures, obviously, before I'm done editing. And if I see anything different, I can obviously change that and amend that in the next video. I'm hoping to get another video film today in Edward B. Forsyth National Wildlife Refuge or State Park or whatever it's actually called. And I also crossed off Savannah Sparrow today, which was pretty cool. I don't know if the photos of the red-breasted nuthatch and the harlequin duck got, but we'll see. I'm super happy to get both of those knocked off. And the nuthatch was tough. I heard him and ended up seeing just the underside of his belly bouncing up and down, but he was just in some super heavy thicket, and I hope I got the picture, but if not, I definitely did guarantee that one. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining me for another Big Birding episode, or the Big Birding Year episode. It was fantastic, and I'm willing to say that this was probably the best birding day of my life so far. So definitely pretty cool. Hopefully I can get the Forsyth before dark, and we can get some more birds there. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, follow along with the new channel. Obviously, we did swap over recently to the outdoor-only channel, so a lot of changes, but it's going well so far. And follow me on Instagram if you guys are interested in checking out all of my birding adventures, wildlife, and stuff like that. And I'll see you next time. Happy birding, everybody. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of my 200 species big birding year for 2025. In my last video, I was at Barnegat Lighthouse. Great episode. I had an absolute blast making it. It was probably my best day of birding ever, and I had an absolute just great time doing it. I said that I was going to Edwin B. Forsyth after that. Unfortunately, there just wasn't enough time for that, so I'm at Silver Lake Park, which is near Belmar Beach. It's about 45 minutes north of Barnegat, and just, if I would have gone to Edwin B, my drive would have been, an extra 45 minutes, and I would have had to go on through either Philly at rush hour or Trenton, and that's a no from me, dog. I ain't doing that. So we are at Silver Lake Park instead. I don't know if this entire video is going to be in Jersey or if it's going to be PA and Jersey. I'll see how much content and species that I get, and we can build on from there. But now, let's get out there birding, guys. All right, well, there was I drove past a little park. I don't know if it's Oceanside or a lake or what it is. McCleary Park. I saw a bunch of just geese and some gulls, so I figured, you know what? It's 4 minutes down the road from the last location. It didn't work out, so hey, we'll see if we can get anything here, maybe some good photos. But I'm just always happy to explore some new locations. It's on my way home anyways. I have a 130-something mile drive home, so not excited about that. But hey, it's been a very productive road trip, even though this is obviously episode 2 of birding for Jersey for this year. It's still a really great time overall. So yeah, let's get out there and do some birding, guys.
All right, well, after the Jersey video, I'm going to use some of the aftermath of Barnegat as just like some filler for this episode, while I just try and track down a couple of the Pennsylvania species that I still need. And I'm extremely excited to say, and I'll roll the footage and photos after this, that there's a farm field near North Park, which is where I currently am, trying to get a pileated woodpecker still, that has horned larks, snow buntings, lapwing longspurs, etc. And I'm very happy and proud to say that I got my first horned lark ever. That bird has been an absolute just pain for me for many a tries, and I finally got a few of them. It is extremely windy, and we're obviously still very snow covered, and there's some snow drifts happening right now just because of the wind, but finally, if I get nothing else today, at least I got that. But there are a couple of species within like 1 to 2 hours of me right now, not even 2 hours, within an hour of me. So I'm trying to knock off quite a few of those because I was aiming for a weekend trip like I did last week with Barnegat. However, we're supposed to get like a snowy rain mixture for 3 days, and obviously that kind of ruins the 3-day weekend. But very happy we got a horned lark again. I'll put up some photos there. But we are at North Park in Kutztown, Pennsylvania again, and I'm really hoping for a pileated woodpecker. The snow bunting still elude me, the Cooper's hawk, but here I'm hoping for a pileated, but has not been an easy bird to find for me yet so far in 2025. But we're over 90 species in 25 days, so I'll definitely take that. All right, there's been reports by a random church about 45 minutes away from me of a red-headed woodpecker, which is definitely a pretty rare sight for PA in general, especially around here. It was seen a couple days ago. We had a huge windstorm, like 50-plus-mile-an-hour gusts yesterday, so hopefully we're going to be able to find that today. I see a bird flying around over here, so I'm going to do this real quick, and I think we're going to get it, guys. It looks like it's going to be it. Well, that is one of the most beautiful birds I've ever seen. Got the red-headed woodpecker. I'm so happy. I've dreamed of that bird since I was a kid, and just, it's not a common one around here. We always get the red-bellied woodpeckers and Harrys and Downies, northern flickered, yellow-belly sapsuckers, and it is a beautiful sight. That was the bird, quite literally the only bird I saw while I was here. I think I hear like a white-throated sparrow in the background, but it flew perfectly. Literally, I got to where the church is behind me, and I said, "Dear God, help me find this bird because I don't know where I'm going." And it flew right in front of me and parked for a couple photos that were pretty decently far away, but I think I got some nice ones and a couple quick videos too. But that is another lifer on the year, guys, and that is an absolute bucket list bird for me too. I've dreamed of that since I was a kid, so beautiful. I can't believe it actually happened. Hello everybody. So this is going to be a weird intro compared to probably most of the rest of my birding journey so far this year and in the future. The main reason being, a lot of my adventures are kind of like quick hits right now. The main reason being, it is February winter in Pennsylvania, which means a lot of cold, a lot of wind, a lot of ice and snow. The weather has just been terrible here for birding, and I've had a couple of really good days, and I didn't necessarily film intros for all of it. Some of it was literally I clocked out at 4, left my job at 4:15 after doing some stuff, and then got somewhere at 5:15, dark at 5:30, and then it was just a quick 1, 2, 3, in, out, boom. Not a lot of time for intros or outros, not a lot of time for filming during it, so I'm compiling a lot of like my rare birds and just like short 1-hour trips to see birds. So there's going to be a lot of like maybe a side or like a slide in between some of them to talk about it. But this video is going to be a little bit of like New Jersey highlights, I think, just after Barnegat, because and honestly, I haven't edited either video yet. So, I may have all my New Jerseys in the last one. I might have some in this one yet, but we'll see. But yeah, basically that is why, this is kind of like a generic intro. You know, welcome to the channel. Thank you all. But it's just been a weird past few weeks. Even like today, like I have an hour before dark, just pulled in, have a lot to do, lots to walk and hopefully find some stuff. But, you know, this is basically just one of those videos that's like, it's not a lot of time, not a lot of free time. And, I just got into astrophotography as well. So that's been taking up a lot of my free time too. But don't worry, the videos are still coming. This is just a really tough part of, the year for me. February is like a really tough month for a lot of birders, especially in the Northeast. You know, we're just getting hammered by snow and ice and the wind. You know, we've had 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts for 3 days straight, so not exactly great. A lot of the people around out of power too. So, yeah, so basically, sorry, this is going to be a little bit of an all over episode, but, it involves the rare spurt of my life, including a couple of my like life bucket listers as well. So it's definitely an awesome one. Sorry, it's just a little bit of all over the place. I kind of wanted to do just like, an intro after I kind of see what all happened and, go from there. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me on my 200 species big birding year. Now let's get out there, everybody.
All right, I am in Owl's Nest Park in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. It would be nice to see an owl here. I don't think that's going to happen at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The main thing I'm hunting here today is American tree sparrows, and I may have gotten a photo of one when I first pulled in. However, in the sunlight, them versus like song sparrows, that being able to see the tail coloration wise makes it a little bit tough, but no luck real so far. I've been sitting on the bridge over here for a while, which is where they've been reported recently, and I'm 97% sure that there's one calling and chirping on the other side. Can't get over there, unfortunately, and you know I wouldn't want to disturb them anyways, but now it's a debate with the running motor, with the running water down here. Merlin is just useless sometimes with that, so it's kind of hard to determine if it is or isn't. I was listening to like the calls on Ebert or from Merlin, and it sounds pretty dead accurate to what I'm hearing. So I think I'm hearing the lifer that is my American tree sparrow. But you know, then it's a real tough debate because it's like I want to photograph them or videotape them for the series, but I can hear them. However, there's no way over this water that it's going to be an easy, like, oh, I can get that sound recording. So I'm kind of just bounced around a little bit. We've got like a kingfisher and some woodpeckers, blue jay, ton of song sparrows, some juncos, but not a lot of good photo opportunities, sadly. Everything is very, very like bramble covered. So, you know, we'll see what we can grab. Okay, I'm on the bridge. Right behind me, for the past couple minutes, I've been just listening to the songs in there, and it sounds just like every recording I've heard of an American tree sparrow. It's clearly different than the song sparrows that are in this area that I've seen, but I think I am going to call it. I wish I could photograph it and go off of more than just I can hear the song, but it's tough. I'm trying to get a video even with my phone because the microphone I think is a little bit better than my camera. So I'll have to see like what all gets picked up here, but it definitely seems like, I know there was like 3 seen here a couple days ago, and it seems like at least 1 or 2 are calling in here. But I haven't seen like the bluebirds they're reported to be hanging out with, but it does seem like there are a couple American tree sparrows in here. There was a black-capped chickadee down further that was singing from a tree. Sadly it flew off when a vulture flew by, which is apparently rare for this area, which is surprising, but you know, it is what it is. I'm still hoping to get a photo before I can go, but I'm also trying not to spend 2 hours here for a bird that might not come out to see me. Because I do have like 6 more stops I want to make today, so maybe we can get one a little bit later in the day for an American tree sparrow if I can get a photo here, but that's like 96 or something on the year, I think, so we're still doing really well. I'm really hoping I can get a picture of it, but I just don't think it's going to play nicely. I mean, it is literally in the middle of this bramble, so it's just really tough to get to, sadly. All right, I'm at the Four Mills Nature Reserve chasing rusty blackbirds, not dying on the ice, and some barred owl potentially. Not looking great so far. Did just see a brown creeper, which is always a nice, fun find, and hopefully got a couple pictures, but they are just notoriously tough to pin down. But yeah, this is just a lot of stops in one day. The last spot didn't pan out for anything either. It's tough. I've talked to a few birders, and nobody's hitting any of our goals yet today, so hopefully we can find something out here. But this video is going to be a little bit of all over the place, especially considering the lack of videos and great photos I've been able to get today so far.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel for another of my big birding year. This is, I don't even know, around episode 10 or so, depending on how I group things. And we are going to be searching the Topahawken Creek for the next few days, weather depending. You know, we got some snow in the forecast, so we'll see. Primarily after a pine warbler, but I also haven't seen wood ducks this month. And, you know, I'm obviously worried about my year more than anything else. However, I am like number 2 or 3 in the county for my numbers right now for February. So, ooh, you know what? It is a nice competition. I do enjoy it. But pine warbler is definitely the one that we're after the most. We still need a potential fox sparrow, which is rare, and I would love to see an American tree sparrow, not just hear it, but you know, we get what we get at this point. And a white-crowned sparrow continues to elude me as well. So primarily sparrows. Nobody has really seen pine siskins or dick thistles yet this year either, so we'll see. You know, just a lot of the smaller birds are still what I require. So definitely very, very cold and very windy out there today, but you know, it's been like that all year. So yeah, hopefully we can get us another winter warbler. I know there's a Cape May warbler in Lancaster, PA right now, but that's a pretty decent far drive. So the Heritage Center is going to be the first stop, and then I would think tomorrow-ish, depending on snow or anything else, we'll do the red covered bridge area. They're part of the kind of the same trail, but once I leave work, you know, it's essentially an hour and a half of a daylight, so it makes it pretty tough. But yeah, I'm gonna get out there before the snow starts, or I shouldn't say the snow starts today, before the wind starts.
From the Red Bridge area, Matthew Arthur got some nice pine warbler feathers from last week.
That would be a lifer for me, so that's on my list today.
I was looking at the Heritage Center side, the north side. Joan Salaji suggested she thinks he was at the pavilion side on the south side.
So I'm at the Heritage Center on the Tulpehocken Trail in Berks County, PA. Primarily looking for a pine warbler. There's a couple screech owls here. A very nice uncommon lifer, actually, and another sparrow species to my roster. There's a fox sparrow, 2 of them. As far as I know, there's 2 of them. One is sitting right up here somewhere, right in this like heavy shrubbery, and then over here, across the creek, at the end of the day, of course, the end of daylight, with heavy traffic going over the overpass here, there are 2 calling back and forth. I got the Merlin pin a couple times, but it is really tough to try and get it without traffic. I'm hoping that they pop their head out for at least a photo. It just called in the background. I sincerely doubt I'm going to be able to pick it up with my camera or my phone, but that is a new lifer for me. I'm hoping I can get a picture. There was the call. I don't know if it came through on the phone, but there's the call of the fox sparrow. So there's at least 2 of them bouncing back and forth as far as I can tell. There obviously could be more. But that is awesome. That is a new lifer. Again, I'm going to try and get a picture. If not, I can always toss up my Merlin ID. Which again, if you use Merlin, no problem. It is sometimes inaccurate, so just make sure you're actually listening back to them, and yeah, go from there. But I'm so excited. That is another lifer on the year. Species like 102-ish, depending on if I found anything before this, depending on where this video sits. But yeah, at least we're in triple digits for the year already. Alright, so I yet again forgot to film an intro for this episode, so hello, welcome back everybody to the channel for this 2025 birding year adventure. I actually just finished a hike for a different video, which did not pan out, and I saw 1 white-throated sparrow and a Carolina chickadee. Not really going to do it, but we do what we do, we try. So thank you for joining me on another episode of my big birding year. This is going to be another episode of being all over. Primarily, I think Berks County. You're going to see a lot of footage from the quarry, some from Blue Marsh, which I do have like an intro filmed for that, but I just kind of wanted to do a little bit of like, yes, this is another episode of me hopping around all over for specific birds. Some of the ones in this video I got vocalization of for me, not for you guys. However, I will give a slight spoiler, some of which will be in another episode. I did get photos and actual like recorded audio of one of these species that you guys will be at least hearing me talk about. So that's pretty good. At least I'm also roasting in this car. It is a weird, I'm filming this in April, actually, this intro, so you guys are a little bit ahead, and yes, I look rough after my hike, I'm aware, but you guys will be seeing some from the quarry, and then immediately after, I got a call, and I did not have time to do an intro or anything for that little journey. Essentially, a good buddy of mine, Andrew, if you ever see this, thank you very much for your help. I was after a Wilson's snipe, and he was lucky enough to try and help me knock off a couple bucket listers this year, a snipe being one of them, and he definitely did help me get that. So you will see that bird a little bit in the episode later. It is a Wilson snipe. It is beautiful. Got some photos, video, recording, all that good stuff. So I just kind of want to do a little intro between Blue Marsh, the quarry, and like, I don't even know what road it was. Just some random road. Wilson snipe. So not the most rare bird I'll see this year, but definitely really nice experience. I'm sorry, I know these videos are a little bit of here and there right now, just in terms of like where I'm going in like the vlog portion of this, but I am trying to get a little bit better with that. Now that spring is officially here, some warblers are coming in pretty soon as well, so April is definitely a really good start to the season. This week that I'm filming this is quite literally 6 days out of 7 for rain, so I'm just trying to do a little bit of recording here, and I wanted to do an intro at least. So again, I will be doing day trips and stuff and full trails again here soon. I'm just kind of biding my time. March is a little bit rough, and I just physically don't have the time to drive an hour and a half for a bird that I'm going to see a lot of here soon. So that's just kind of where I'm going, and I know I've said that in a lot of videos, but you guys know how it is. Got to space your time out somehow. So thank you all so much for joining me for another episode. Now let's get out there. All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of my big birding year for 2025. We're a little bit over 100 species already through February. So as February kind of wraps up here, similar in vein of my last episode, which was just a lot of bouncing around, this is kind of, I think, going to be similar depending on how many species, if any, that we can get for the new year. If you hear any odd noises behind me, we're at Blue Marsh for the intro and the second location today. The first location got some horned larks, which are new for this month, but not for this year. I'll still include a couple photos after the intro just at that spot. It's not a good spot for location since you don't get out of your car, farm fields and all that stuff. For Blue Marsh, the weather is a little bit cold today, but it's the nicest it's been. This is 30 degrees, and this is the warmest day in a while here. For Pennsylvania, the red-winged blackbirds and some spring birds, like the grackles and the cowbirds and stuff, are starting to come back. So it is a good sign. We're looking at 50s plus for weather in the next few days. So if you hear weird noises, the ice is shattering under the lake, which is kind of creepy and cool at the same time. We're at Blue Marsh looking for a couple things today. Right as I got on this path, I could hear a crow and a fish crow. The fish crow is not a lifer for me. So it is and isn't. I've never photographed one. I've heard and have had Merlin pins for one. Sorry about the sun. But I've never specifically taken a photo of one. I didn't get the photo of it, but it was a nice comparison between a regular crow and a fish crow, just kind of pinging back and forth when I was getting out of my car and heading up to the bathroom up there. And so that's nice. I mean, that is a new species for the year. The only reason I say it's kind of a lifer and not, I never have reported one to eBird just because I couldn't directly hear it very well. There's a regular crow in the background, so that is going to probably be marked as a lifer for me. I really wish I could get a photo of that bird. It just hates me. I don't know what it is about fish crows that don't like me. But that is a new one on the year at least, so at least today's trip was not totally in vain. I was actually going to head down to Montgomery and Bucks County to do a lot of birding today. However, I am just exhausted. It's been a very long week. I am so incredibly sore. 15 people around me are sick at the moment. So I'm just kind of staying local today and doing some Berks County birding. Red-winged blackbirds are officially back, but not so much in this area. They just passed through Lancaster and a couple other spots, so they're around. The white-crowned sparrow still eludes me, just like the snow bunting, which is why I went to the fields this morning. But yeah, it is what it is. We're still on a great path for this year. I'm still hunting a pine warbler at Red Bridge Covered Park in Greens Mill in the Tulpahawken Creek, and I know the lighting for this intro is terrible. I'm just trying to make good use of my time here. But yeah, we're gonna see what species we get. This might be taking over quite a few days, but there's a blue jay too. Let's get started, guys. Alright, so trying not to talk too loud. In the bramble down here, there was, I think, one white-crowned sparrow. It has a much whiter head, has a skinnier body than the rest of the white-throateds that are going through here. That bird has been an absolute pain for me all year long. Again, sorry I'm talking quiet. I'm trying. I'm going to sit here for a bit, but literally just right in here, there's just so much bramble, and it's not making any noise. You can hear the little white-throated, and you can hear the cardinal and the crow in the background. There's a blue jay bouncing around. It's super skittish. It is literally just sitting right down in here. I hate being the YouTuber that's like, you gotta believe me, there's a little bird in there. So I'm gonna try and get something for it. Literally, as I rounded this corner, I was watching because there was a dog up ahead, and I was making sure there was an owner nearby. And I saw its little white head, and it just pounced down. Whew, there's a big chunk of ice going. So I'm gonna try my best, but as of now, I do think that was a white-crowned sparrow. There has been one reported here multiple times, so I think that could be it. I really wish it would chirp, but I know it's gonna be tough with all the other loud birds in the area. Well, that would be pretty cool if I can get a photo of it, but I do think for sure that that was white-crowned. Definitely looked like it had the build of one too. So I didn't get a photo of it. I saw it on the horizon, and I got a really, really awesome sound recording of it. The first red-shouldered hawk I've ever seen here. I've seen it reported a couple times, but just right over these trees, I heard like the screaming, and quick recorded the Merlin voice, and it popped up. So that's awesome. I'm going to try and put the sound recordings in. I want to do that for the fox sparrow too from a couple days ago. I don't know if that's going to be part of this video or not. I'm still trying to kind of like piece those out. I just finished editing the Barnegat video, which goes up, I think, about a week after I'm recording this. Not new species. I saw one of them at John Hines, but it is really cool to get like the audio for it. That's kind of one of my new challenges, is just getting audio recordings for like every species that I encounter, and especially when it's either so far away. Whew, sorry, I'm out of breath. I just did a couple miles here. Either far away, or you have it like the fox sparrow, where it was just late at night, and the photos, A, weren't going to get, and B, they were just so hunkered down to that wind that it didn't really matter. So I'm going to try and figure out how to attach audio files to my YouTube videos. I'm going to try. I thought about like popping a little screenshot up of like fox sparrow and red-shouldered hawk and stuff like that, but I don't know if that really makes it better, given that Merlin is inaccurate sometimes. So definitely do your vetting and do your research when you hear different audios.
Yeah, their pricing is really good, and people like them. I've seen them at the outdoor show. They always have a big booth.
Yeah, as soon as you sent that message out, I said, oh no. Yeah, I've never used Zeiss before, but I am very excited to try it out.
We'll see how. for everyone bothered by us right now. It's feeding.
Good, I'm grabbing a video of it while I'm here.
Feeding it. Now the downside is when it gets that cold, there's a lot of, like lack of a better term, fog rising off of it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back for another birding trip here. We are in North Park in Kutztown, PA. One of the birds I still need for 2025, and we're reaching the end of winter here, so I'm trying to wrap up just a couple more species that I had on my list. A purple finch was recently seen here, so I'm going to be after that one today. Pileated woodpecker still hates me, so haven't seen him yet this year. Still haven't seen either of the mated pair that are supposed to be in here. Counted them probably 15 plus times last year. So we'll see. It is extremely icy, but the weather is better. It's about 60 degrees today. But there's some rain and some wind coming. So of course, God forbid we get a good day. But yeah, that's what we're after today. The purple finch. Year's been going great so far. So let's keep it up. Alright, so the spot behind me is where I got my field sparrow a few months ago, and there is a bird feeder and a suet feeder right across, and he's one of the professors at Kutztown. He recently reported a female, I believe it is, purple finch here. That's what I was looking for, and thankfully, when I was sitting over here listening for maybe like a field sparrow, white-crowned, whatever else could be mixed in these big flocks in here, I saw a couple birds at the feeder, so I said, well, why not? And I took a long distance shot and got the purple finch. So that is another one on the year. I think it's starting to rain a little bit here, so probably going to cut this short. Still a ton of ice on the ground, but it looks, a lot like spring here finally. I almost debated wearing shorts to come out here. It's like 60 degrees today, and I'm comfortable for shorts for like 50. I don't feel like getting a cold or pneumonia though to start the spring. So that is another species, not just for this area, but for me for this year. Yeah, the wind's picking up. So I know, of course, it's supposed to rain a little bit today, but that is another species on the year. Very excited. Purple finch is one of the ones that I've been having a lot of difficulty with, and I've seen them here before. I think I had a male and a female last year before recording or anything like that for my bird watching, and I'm just getting out of the wind a little bit, make it easier for you guys to hopefully hear me. Still open, but it breaks it up just a little bit. I saw them last year in here, so I was wondering if they would maybe stick around, or maybe if this is just a good area for them, and thankfully we got them. So I believe it is a female. I'm not the best on like first years or immatures for finches or anything like that, so I'm assuming it's a female, but the video I got is, I'm pretty sure it was her wrapped around the other side of the feeder, but I did get a couple photos of it. So all in all, very successful little run here. We've got a bunch of small birds up here, so I'm probably going to take just a lap around this little area and then call it a day in this park. But yeah, North Park and Kutztown strikes again.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of my big birding year for 2025. We're in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, hunting a few different species today. And for the first spot, I'm not going to film there just to kind of give it some secrecy. We are looking for a great horned owl, something I've never photographed. I've heard before while fishing, but there is a nest one here. So there's a ton of construction, so if I find it, I don't know how, hidden it is. I don't know. Never been here before, so if I can find a local, hopefully we can do that. Again, just because owls and secrecy and everything like that. You can find where these birds are on eBird and stuff like that. Please make sure to read up about observing owls and everything like that. Don't disturb them. Don't trespass to get to them. Don't bother them. Don't spook them. Don't do anything like that. Just be safe with it. Obviously, we don't want to harm the birds or anything like that. But I'm excited. Hopefully going to be the very first owl of the year. Judging by the title of this episode, you'll know if I got it or not. But I am really excited to do so. We're going to be going to quite a few parks here today, hopefully, depending on the time, the actual weather. We're supposed to be getting some high winds later this evening, so we'll see. But I'm really excited to hopefully cross off my first owl of the year. That would be absolutely amazing. All right, the great horned owl has been found. Sorry if the video didn't get too good. Due to the distance and the wind blowing some trees and branches in front of it, it was a little bit difficult to get. But I am so happy to finally get the first owl of the year. Now we are at Knoll Dowell Park, or I see a new species. There's a red-winged blackbird in front of me, I think. But anyways, this is definitely one of the better spots in all of Lancaster. So I'm really excited today to try and get here for the first time. I think this is where I have eastern meadowlarks marked down as a possibility. But then red-winged blackbirds for the first time and stuff this year as well. But that owl was my big wish list item for the day. Not item, but you know what I mean. I think that was a red-winged blackbird. We'll see. I'm not worried about the blackbirds and the cowbirds and grackles. I'll see them when I see them. They're not birds that I'm going to necessarily travel for, but an owl I will. Again, especially since in Berks County, one of our local pairs was sadly killed by fishing line and stuff. So it is a shame, especially when birds get caught up in fishing line. It's something so easy to take care of. But again, Knoll Dowell, sorry if I can't pronounce that properly. It's Lancaster. God knows none of us can pronounce anything. But I'm excited. It looks like a pretty nice trail with a lot of species here throughout the month. So let's get started.
All right, we're in the wetlands part of the trail. Obviously very dry currently, but just got the first red-winged blackbird of the year. Got some photos of one perched up. I can hear some more, so that is very exciting. That is another species on the day. We're only a little bit in. Definitely a lot of activity, a bunch of cardinals, house sparrows, house finches, and everything else. So definitely a beautiful little spot in the middle of a pretty busy area.
All right, this is going to likely be the last stop for the day. There's one random vagrant near here that I haven't had luck on to say is Phoebe. I might try and get that because I know it's pretty close, but we'll see. We're at the Chestnut Grove Nature Area, I believe it's called. This is where the eastern meadowlark was. So Knoll Dowell was nice, and again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. The red-winged blackbird was the only new species on the year there. No luck on the American woodcock, sadly, but it was still a beautiful spot. We got 20-something species marked down. At the very least, I like experiencing new spots, not only, get some eBirds for the different counties, and it's cool seeing where you performed really well, all that stuff, all the nonsense and the numbers of eBird. It's definitely a nice way to stay competitive with yourself. But yeah, so we're at Chestnut Grove right now, hopefully for the eastern meadowlark, but we'll see.
All right, it's windy. However, we had no luck once again out here. So only red-winged blackbirds and a couple vultures, all turkey vultures. I still need black vultures. I don't know why I can't find those to save my life. Everybody else can here. And a few starlings, a couple doves. Again, beautiful spot, but not too much going on today, sadly. So it does not look like we're going to get our eastern meadowlark today. That would be a lifer. I was really hoping for one of them today, but not looking good. I know the last reported count was, I think, from yesterday, and there was only one seen, or at least recorded, so I don't know. But it's not looking good. Coming around the back trail now, but this is part of the Turkey Hill Trail, I believe, that's attached to it. I might go check out the Vagrant near here. It's a 9-minute drive. We got some daylight yet, so we'll see. I don't know, but this might be my outro regardless, because I can't film there, given that it's roadside access only, and I'm not going to stop in the middle of the road to do an outro, so I will end it here. Overall, good day in Lancaster, but definitely a little bit disappointing. We got a lot of species, just not a ton that we already needed. Very happy to get the red-winged blackbird finally. Sad about the meadowlark, but it happens. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. If there's a little bit of the movie left, or the episode left after this, that means I went to go see the Vagrant and hopefully found it, or the meadowlarks. Alright, so thank you guys so much for joining me for another video. I am recording this while editing this video, actually, just because of how birding went after I was done here. So, this is kind of going to be the in-the-middle point. I did my day in Lancaster, the great horned owl and everything was amazing, and super excited to finally photograph one and see one, and not just hear one hooting in the background, so that was pretty awesome. However, from here on out, for the next few days, and I have my eBird list behind me, this is going to be kind of rapid fire. And the main reason being, if I'm driving somewhere along the highway and I see a black vulture or turkey, and I can't stop, or it's not safe to do so, and it's a bird I've seen many times, and, you know, one of the more common ones, or something like that, same thing I've done before, where it's, I'll just kind of put the counter up here. So we do have a few, and I don't think you guys can see just because of the glare off the monitor back here, and ignore my sour Skittles, you know, this is what we do in the morning. I do have a few other species. Now, they were pretty much either drive pasts, or they were just little clips where I went out for 20 minutes before work, got maybe a species that I heard, but no real footage and stuff like that. So, as of editing this is just kind of like the gap in between, where it was 15 minutes before work, 5 minutes before work, oh, there's a vagrant near work, got this warbler, so some stuff like that. And then I will include a little bit after this just yet, of like some other recordings. So basically, we left off at species 109, which was the red-winged blackbird for the year. While driving in Exeter, I got the black vulture, which is going to be species 110. At Dunkin' Donuts, I got the grackle, which is 111. And don't worry, there will be pictures of these species coming in different videos, especially the grackle. You know, that was the first ones I've seen in the year. Now I've seen hundreds as of a week later, so there is that. Finally got my pileated woodpecker. Quite literally jackhammer noises. That's it. I've heard it multiple times since then, because I'm about 3 videos ahead of this. Officially in April, so it's chaos month. And I just jackhammer. I cannot see these things. I don't know what it is, and I don't know why Merlin hates me and it won't record it. But thankfully got them. Then there was also, so this one's going to be a little bit different. And the video you'll see after, like, the little clip you'll see after this is me kind of talking about it, while I'm at, Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, is going to be a barnacle goose, which is an ABA code 3, which is obviously really, really cool. But no picture due to, like, private property and some stuff like that. It was kind of just in, binoculars, out. So I do talk about that a little bit there. I'll probably do the counter up here rather than there, just so we can kind of all keep track of where we're going. But that was really cool. Another really, really rare goose on the year. Wild turkeys. Also, while driving, we were going on a day trip to, I think, Saucon Valley, and there was just a flock of like 7 wild turkeys kind of off in the distance. So that's why you bring binoculars when you're going on a date and you're not driving. So perfect. And then the last 2 that I think I'm going to include in this list, I have audio at least for this one, and I swear I'm trying so hard to get a picture of this bird. It hates me. It's It's a beautiful one. It is a pine warbler. That is a lifer for me, just like the barnacle goose was. Beautiful. Hearing it for the first time, you could see them hopping around. The reason that they're called pine warblers is because they're really high up in pine trees. And unfortunately, every time that I've gone to go see this bird, I get really good audio, and that's it. I've gone 6 times to see the pine warbler just to get a picture. Then there was another one like yesterday when I was out. So I'm trying to get a photo of that bird. Similar to like the red-shouldered hawk and stuff like that. I will put up the little screenshot probably of my audio, and then I'll play the audio at the bottom. I like that. That way you guys can kind of hear it and, you know, get the justification like, oh, did he see that or not? And then last but not least, and I made a little clip talking about it, but I'm just trying to condense into one video and get all these small trips done so then I can move on with the series and not be held back by like 15 clips that I've taken just out in the woods. Is a screech owl. So 2 owls in this video. I went outside at work to take the trash out around 8 o'clock, heard the hooting, and that was it. That was it. When I threw the trash can, or I was actually taking the recycling out. When I threw the recycling in our can, it stopped. Never heard it again. So it was great. Like, I'm really excited that I knocked off 2 owls on the year. None of which are lifers, but it's cool. I'm really happy. Sorry, I just kicked the tripod. So we are up to 116 on the species board. That is awesome. I'm really excited for that. Yeah, there's 117 I do kind of have, and I was trying to wait, and I know this is a messy intro, but I was trying to wait and just kind of do that on its own, so I'll probably wait for that and just put it in the next episode for a starter. Listen, we've mentioned what bird it is already before on this channel. It's not a rare one, but that'll at least provide the intro. So yeah, that brings us up to 116 species on the year as of, whenever you guys will be seeing this, probably April 10th-ish, I think is where it's looking at. This video, just like the last one, is a day late just because of editing time. It's really busy here right now, and trout season has officially started and spring migration. Philadelphia is reporting warblers, so it is what it is. Future me decided to come back and do this little outro for this video. So I will include some of the clips a little bit after this, just so you guys can kind of see like where everything was taken, or the audio and some stuff like that. But yeah, very exciting. I wish I could have photographed or got in some audio recording for some of these guys, but like I said, when you're just hopping around or happen to get an owl where you're working, it's a rarity. Just like driving past a turkey or a black vulture. Those are not birds I'm going to crash my car over. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll roll the rest of this clip. I just wanted to talk to you guys about kind of where we're standing right now. Good job editing me. All right. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of my 2025 birding year. Can you hear that? That is about 100 grackles. Well, maybe not 100, but dozens and dozens of common grackles. I was looking for a brown-headed cowbird. Did not see it. I saw grackles for the first time the other day. However, it is a lot better that I can get them here. Hopefully get a couple pictures. They're hidden in these big old pine trees here, as well as a couple woodpeckers by the sound of it. This is Ancient Oaks Recreation Area in Lehigh, Pennsylvania. This is kind of a Lehigh day, but I'll probably have to add to this from some other spots. So basically, there's an ABA Code 3 goose right down the road, known as the barnacle goose. It looks kind of similar to Canadian geese, but a much whiter face. And drove there before this. Was going to do that for my intro. It's, I don't know how much of that was private property, trespass-wise, so I didn't record in there. I tried to snap a couple pictures, but I had a couple trucks driving past giving me the look, so I got out of there as fast as possible. Crossed off my second ABA Code 3, which is pretty cool. I don't know if I got a picture of it, to be completely honest. It's been around here for a couple weeks now, and I just haven't had time to get it. And just being on the edge of business parking lots, you do have to be pretty careful. So got there, saw the white face, and I pretty much got out and then drove here. So that is, I don't even know what species 100 something that is on the year, but it's pretty awesome. I'm gonna come back here in a few weeks once trout season opens and fish this spot, so I did want to stop here and kind of see what we could get. First picture of a grackle, some audio on the year. Got my first audio, which I don't know if I talked about this in a previous episode. I'm trying to do audio for as many species as I can find. Got my first audio for a raven. 2 of them flew over, which is pretty cool. But overall, pretty common birds so far here. However, it's nice to get different counties. So I'm working on my Lehigh County bird total at the moment, so not too bad. It's a beautiful spot. I don't know how many videos I'm going to be able to get, but we'll see. I'll add in as many pictures as I can. I did get my first black vulture the other day as well while driving in Berks County, so that was pretty cool. There was a couple of them, however, we were driving past to the in-laws house, so I did not get a photo of it. However, that is definitely not a new species. I will put in one of the photos I have of my first encounter with them in like 2012. I think that's the only photograph I have of a black vulture, but I will include that in here so you guys at least have a reference. But yeah, I'm gonna wander around for a little bit and see what else we can find, guys. All right, we are at Grings Mill today. I hate wearing my hat backwards, but it gets in the way of the camera, so we're gonna do it that way. Here at Grings Mill again, there was a report of chimney swifts here about a day or two ago, so trying to find them. It hasn't been going so well so far. Did just get my first goldfinch and wood duck of the month, so you know, working on that monthly total at least, but nothing new so far. Got a sharp-shinned hawk on the way here. Again, not new for the year, but new for this month. So hopefully the swifts will be out today, but we're almost there. We're almost to the start of spring. I'm so happy. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel for another episode of my 2025 birding year. So primarily I think I'm going to be staying just Pennsylvania today. It's Saturday. I did have the day off. However, I just honestly, I have so much editing and stuff to do that a day trip in March was kind of a little bit tougher. I'm trying to get as much stuff as I can done for like the channel and life's sake before April hits, or at least like mid-April hits and migration and stuff like that. So today we're going to be probably roaming around mostly Berks County. However, I do think that I might, there's a Bullocks Oreo, yep, that's how tired I am. There's a Bullocks Oriole 90 minutes or so from where I currently am, which is North Park in Kutztown. So we'll see if I make the trip for that. I'm not sure. I definitely would love to cross that species off. It is absolutely beautiful, and it's been hanging around for months now. So that's definitely a possibility there. It's on private property, but as long as we don't visit on Sundays, birders are allowed to go there. So it is pretty cool. So thank you to that family, obviously, who's hosting that animal. It is awesome. But yeah, we're going to roam around today. Phoebes, swifts. I got the cowbird last time. However, I would love a picture of one, obviously, for you guys. But when there's one cowbird to 50 grackles, it is kind of tough to get in there. But yeah, so we definitely have some new species that are kind of bouncing around. They're here and far between, but I think we might be able to at least knock off something today. It's a little bit overcast, 60s, so typical March weather. But yeah, let's get out there, everybody. All right. Well, that was lucky. It stopped calling a little bit. I did get a photo and a couple of videos, or a video and a few photos of it. There's an Eastern Phoebe behind me, which is a new species on the year, and the first of the year for me. So that's pretty awesome. I love those little birds. They are absolutely adorable. It's sitting in a tree right back here. I couldn't find it just down by the stream, so sadly I think I did spook it a little bit. There it goes. It's calling a little bit from that tree. So yeah, new species on the day as soon as I get out of my car. So I'm also testing new gear today. So I'm outfitted a little bit heavy for this little trail, but we have a new binocular harness. I have a new camera harness. I went with the Black Rapid sling, and then I also bought my first Osprey bag. So this is just like, I want to kind of get a comfier like way to carry around camera, binoculars. The sling bag is fantastic, really nice. I didn't want to spend 60 bucks on a sling day bag, but it actually is really solid so far. I'm also trying out new shoes which are the Solomon speed crosses. I hate them so far. They're incredibly uncomfortable. But we'll see how it goes. I've been trying to break them in at work, but they're just a little bit too tight. I think I bought the wrong size, sadly, but we'll see. We're going to wander through the rest of this trail, but even, you know, one bird today is a win for me. All right, well, no, there's the Phoebe again. North Park was a success. Like I said, first Phoebe of the year. Crossed off, I think, just the field sparrow other than that for this month. Obviously not new in this year, but I still like to keep up with some of the more uncommon ones around here. The rarer purple finch still continues as well. Heard it calling from some of the bramble, so that's pretty cool. Glad to see it's still there, and glad to see the Phoebes are back. There's at least 2 or 3 that I hear calling. The gear, except for the shoes, worked out really well. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I brought a spare pair of hiking shoes just in case. So now on to the next stop. All right, so I just made the hour or so drive to Chester County to Atwater Reservoir, which is completely privated off. There's a small shopping area with like a barbecue joint and Wawa. I think physical therapy or gym, something like that down here where you can kind of park off to the side. And it's literally, and I'll turn you guys around once that notification goes away. Yeah, it's all gated off, private, and you can basically just walk your way around and hope for the best. I just pulled in, got some really amazing pictures of flicker, a northern flicker right outside my window, which isn't a new species or a rare species, but they're a little bit harder to photograph because they're always high up in the trees, always moving around. And sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I just did like 10 laps back and forth. We were here for a red-necked grebe, which is an uncommon species for sure. Around here, luckily, I got very lucky. It is literally, and I took a picture of the area down there, and I got to see, I believe it was 1 or 2 horned grebes and the red-necked grebe all hopping in a corner. And it was really cool. You know, it wasn't cool, the fact that I couldn't get any pictures of it. It's been here for a couple months, and there's just annoying construction outside, so that's why I'm doing my little review of here in here. I got some pictures of Canada geese, a crow, maybe a robin, some common mergansers down there, and maybe one of the horned grebes. I'm not even sure. I brought my zoom camera, and for some evident reason, me trying to peer through those little metal bars, it wasn't doing any justice. And I swapped out for my Canon camera. By the time I got back, I saw them like hopping around underneath and diving, but sadly I waited about 30 minutes and they never came back out. I can kind of see them maybe a little bit through the bramble and bushes down there, but it wasn't great. So sad, yay, it's a lifer for me, and I'm really happy about that, but I really wished I could have gotten a photo for you guys. I took a couple of blind shots just in the area, hoping maybe I can get something there, but it's a yay for the lifer list, and you know, it's been here for a while. Otherwise I probably wouldn't have even been able to ID it. So thankfully I got it, and you know, maybe a picture of a horned grebe, but sadly it just wasn't there when I got my good camera out. I should have grabbed it. Both the distance here, I knew a 400mm lens would have been tough. I did stop off at Farm Boy barbecue right next door. I want to try and talk about more food places when I do day trips, so not vlog style. I'm not comfortable enough to videotape myself in a restaurant. I hate that feeling for myself. Good for everybody else that likes doing it. I don't. But I want to try and take pictures more of like places I visit and stuff like that. So we're gonna try Farm Boy barbecue. I unfortunately have to make the hour and 15-minute trek back to work now. At about 4 o'clock, it's about 1:30 now, so I have a pickup order and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes on the way back. There's huge traffic, so I'm trying to take a detour. So we're gonna see if that works out for me. So I'm sorry this was not the most eventful trip. I wish it would have been a little bit better. I'm watching vultures. Yeah, I wish it could have been a little bit better. If the grebes were out, it would have been honestly a perfect place to shoot them, photography wise. But sadly, it just wasn't perfect. But yeah, I'll probably take another peek before I leave just to see if they've come out, but I don't think it's going to happen. You know, this was a quick visit, another lifer, and I'm super excited for that. But yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I really wished I could have gotten a photo of it. Just perfect situation, I guess, for me, where it was, ooh, there it is, and then disappeared. So it happens. Same thing with like the pink-footed goose and the barnacle goose. Some of these rare, really like hard to find birds that are just in the middle of flocks or in the middle of some sketchier areas, or just spots that not necessarily are sketchy, like it's a beautiful area where I am. It's just, you know, I literally can't climb down there on private property to get it. So, yeah, just Canada geese hopping around. So, yeah, I'll probably take another lap just to see if there's something down there. But unfortunately, that's just how it goes with some of these birds. Alright, it's a very dreary day outside today, but like I said in the last part, the whole week's supposed to be rain. They actually called it off for today here. Well, there's still like a 30% chance, but I'll just hightail it away with my camera if that happens. I'm here again looking for that blue-winged teal, potentially a Bonaparte gull, and a palm warbler as well. Alright, so just got a really cool recording of some wood ducks calling from behind these trees in like that little hidden cove area. Got some ringneck ducks here, which I think are new for me for Aunalani, at least new for this month. So there are dozens upon dozens of swallows bouncing in and out above the water. And most of them are tree swallows. However, I think there are northern rough-winged swallows there as well with the low light. And just like, I'm trying to get pictures, I really am. I can't even get one of like a tree swallow bouncing around, so I'm watching them quite heavily to see if they are northern rough-winged. I think they've been sighted in this flock for the past, you know, few weeks now, so I think that there are some mixed in, but I'm trying to get a picture for you guys because it's just such a small bird in such high speeds. This is actually a really good challenge for me, I guess, but I don't do well in low light. I'm still learning how to do this, so bear with me here. I'm trying. I'll at least upload like the wood duck sound and everything like that. I'll have a little counter here for the northern rough-winged, or a little bit later. There are ducks all the way out into the distance, and there is a big flock down here. Hopefully they're the green-winged teals, because that's where the blue-winged teal has been sighted with them. So we shall see. Daylight is, you know, we're about an hour or so from dark, so I'm going to try and make my way around there, but I do want to try and get this swallow, because that would be a lifer for me as well. I almost forgot. I was too focused on my binoculars rather than my camera, and a merlin flew past. Again, not new for the year, but it is a really cool sight whenever you see a falcon. Got a really nice binoculars view of it too, so that was probably my clearest look yet, aside from that one that was eating I think it was a bird or a mouse a few weeks ago. Alright, we are back in North Park in Kutztown, Pennsylvania, and just had some really nice luck actually. I ended up not doing the intro in my car because I wasn't sure if I was going to get anything new today. However, just got my ruby-crowned kinglet in this tree back here. I got some fantastic audio of it and a couple of pictures. I'm not sure how the photos got, but it was amazing watching the little guy bounce around, and honestly serenaded for a while, so got to watch it through the binoculars more than the camera, since it was in that tree right up front, and there's just tons of little branches, and the video just wasn't getting too good. Not a rare bird by any means, but one that has eluded me to to this day. So very, very excited about that. This is probably going to be the last one for this video. In terms of locations, I'm going to do the whole trail, and I might have another stop after this, I'm not sure. This is also being recorded April 4th. April 5th is the start of trout season, so my busy season is officially here. So hopefully we can get one or two more maybe for this video, but don't worry, the videos are still going to be coming each week. Now it's just going to be a little bit of filming, fishing, and video potentially in the same location, so we shall see how that goes, but super excited to get another kinglet off the board. All right, sadly didn't get a photo of it. It's for the mammals here, portion of this year, and it is a chipmunk. So very exciting. That is actually my second one, I think, of the day. I had one run near me this morning when I was getting in my car. So there's another mammal in the year at least. And just heard a pileated woodpecker. Still have not gotten a photo or a video of one of them yet this year. They have eluded me for far too long. Alright, well, it's been a good start to the day at Lake Onalani. It is incredibly dreary, it is raining, it is cold. It was, I think, 32 degrees when I got here and raining. Nothing says spring in April like that. I've been pretty lucky so far. I struck out early on a greater yellowlegs, which was a rare bird chase for me. Would have been a lifer and very rare for Berks County and Pennsylvania in general. Struck out there. I've struck out mostly on the Bonaparte skulls until all the way in the distance there are between 4 and 5 of them flying around. I got a couple of shots of, like, you can see them, but they're not going to be great. There are hundreds of rough-winged swallows flying around. I got some awesome pictures and video of a pied-billed grebe. Also, I hit the triple trifecta for yellow warblers here right now. Pine, palm, and yellow-rumped warbler on one spot. Nothing new except for the Bonaparte skull, which is a lifer for me. But everything else, you know, getting some good photo opportunities at least. It's just so cold. But yeah, so you know what? That's like 127 or something like that on the year. I don't even know. I'd honestly have to look, but the birds are very much out and about. There were hundreds of Bonaparte skulls here yesterday, and sadly I was out of town with the missus, so I unfortunately did not grab them yesterday. But I did get a Cooper's hawk on the way here, so just working on that monthly total. That pied-billed grebe was super like photogenic too, so that was pretty cool. Got some nice shots of one of them. Very neat. Very tiny little bird. I love it. You can hear the blue jays and probably some kinglets in the background. But yeah, it was, my camera unfortunately malfunctioned and the back of my R7 literally wouldn't turn on, so it was hard for me to like check the picture quality of some of these birds. So I'm hoping some of them got good. I've never photographed a pine warbler, so I'm hoping they got, but I got a couple of ducks around the corner here, so I'm gonna quiet up and see what we got. Alright, I just arrived at one of the better spots in Berks County, and that is Kernsville Dam up in Hamburg. If you visit here, definitely go to Cabela's. It's amazing. It is the massive one. I just got very lucky. The first green heron of the year, which is still a rarity. They're starting to roll in, but that is still a red marked that I'll have to comment on eBird. He's actually just sitting right off to the side up here. I got some really good pictures, so I'm super excited. He's literally sitting on a little post, and I'm trying to get a photo of it. There's a swamp sparrow. Neither of these are lifers, but they are both new for this year. There is a swamp sparrow calling amongst the cattails and stuff around these little retaining ponds, so I'm gonna try and get either a better audio recording, because I can hear it in the background, but I can't get a clean Merlin recording with the wind and the traffic from the highway, it's just a little bit off, so I think it just flew past me. I walked about 5 more feet after the green heron. The swamp sparrow did fly in front of me when I was doing this little segment, and did not get a photo, sadly, but that's like I said, another new one on the year. And I just got some really nice audio of a blue-headed vireo. We got a couple of them literally at the exact same spot. So that is 3 new species on the year. I don't know if the blue-headed vireo is a lifer for me or not. If I pop up a little lifer thing next to the audio recording, then it was, but I honestly have to go through my records and see. Alright, so this is going to be pretty much my wrap-up day for my current video in PA before I head to somewhere in New Jersey tomorrow. It's supposed to be 85 and beautiful. I'm at Kutztown with North Park again. I'm trying out a microphone for Merlin to see if I can pick up more and better audio, and so far it is working incredible. And I have 2 new species for the year, an eastern towhee, which just passed by briefly, and my nemesis for photography, which is a blue-gray gnatcatcher. I've been listening to at least 2 or 3 of them this entire time, and I cannot get them in the middle of their whole little house finch gang and house sparrows and everything else. I've heard them so many times so clear, and I do have audio at least for you guys. If I get a picture or not, I'm hoping so. But there's so much going on for PA right now. We've got grosbeaks, we've got hummingbirds, warblers, the whole 9 yards, yellowlegs I'm still searching for both varieties. So trying out to see how this works, and it's picking up a lot more audio. It is one of the Rode ones. I forget which model. And so far it's working out great. Like, it is literally picking up like stuff that I'm hearing that the phone normally can't. So hopefully the audio is pretty clear. So at least we have 2 for the day. I just kind of wanted to wrap up like my PA aspect, so then I could get a fresh start with Jersey and then go from there. So hopefully a little bit more fluent with some of these trips rather than just bouncing around here and there. But yeah, it is a busy day out here. There is hundreds and hundreds of birds in one little area, so a lot to dig through, and hopefully I'm going to get maybe another species, potentially a chimney swift that went by. That would be pretty amazing, and this is definitely a spot for them, so we shall see. It is really strange. Like, it's a beautiful day. Mid-70s, April, and they're active, but I can tell you that I've heard 100+ birds. Like, just big groups of finches, the blue jays, cardinals, and I have seen maybe 10 birds. It's weird. They're all calling, but nothing is like out and about, or nothing in the feeder areas or the houses. Like, it's just really weird. And like, there's a breeze every now and then, but like, this is a beautiful day in migration season. So like, I'm happy that I got 2 new species on the year, and I'm happy that I got really good audio, hopefully, of that blue-gray gnatcatcher. And I just heard another towhee, but nothing's coming out except for the robins. and the cardinal, like even the blue jays. I honestly haven't even seen a blue jay yet. They just keep screaming at something. So I don't know if there's some sort of predator that I'm missing. Like I haven't seen a single hawk. And like, by the way, right now for Berks and Pennsylvania, I don't know why I pronounced it like that. Broadwing hawks are circling overhead, which would be a lifer for me as well. So like, it's a beautiful day. I'm having a great time out here. But literally the birds aren't coming out from the tree line. It's just strange. Like, it is just really weird. Like, this whole area, there's 3 robins and a couple of blue jays yelling. Like, it is just really weird. So like, the quantities here, they're just not coming out. So I don't know. Maybe there's been a kestrel or a Cooper's hawk or a sharpshin, or I know I've seen a merlin here before. Like, there could be something buzzing that I haven't been seeing that they're all on alert for. I don't know, but it is really, really strange. Like I'm just like, at this point, okay, let's just photograph whatever I can, you know, add some filler in here, and there's just nothing. And I can only videotape so many robins.
Alright, well, if I look tired, I'm doing the intro after my long day, but hello everybody and welcome back to the channel for a very special episode for my big birding year for 2025. I'm in Sandy Hook, New Jersey. We're going to be doing the entire area today, at least to the best of my ability. I have a pretty long list of birds that I would like to see today. The main ones are piping plover and northern gannet. I would also love to try and knock off a tern or two as well. There's some possibilities for some other shorebirds, of course. You know, there's something like the boat-tailed grackle, you know, a couple like the side species that would be nice. There's been a black and white warbler, I guess, in the area, which would also be amazing. Today is a beautiful day, and I said before I was trying to finish up a lot of my like side projects in PA to do a full day in Jersey, or at least full day in Sandy Hook. It's a Saturday. It is about 85, depending on it. So earlier there was wind. It was beautiful. It was overcast, nice and dreary. I loved it. I just finished up my full day, and it is incredibly sunny and very warm. So I'm glad I'm calling it quits, making the 140 miles back or whatever it is. So about a 2-hour drive or so. But yeah, it was a very productive day. I did not do a lot of personal segments like this, like the vlog style, just because of how full it was and everything else. It's just a lot of bouncing around and trying to get as many spots as possible. But it was a fantastic day, so I'm glad to share it with you guys. right, thank you all so much for joining me. It was a great day. I'm sad we did not get the piping plover and the northern gannet. Apparently there was at least tern spotted as well that I missed, sadly, but the black-crowned night heron was also a really nice surprise. I wish I could have gotten better pictures, or at least some pictures, for like the spotted sandpiper, the killdeer. I know they're not new for me, or at least the spotted sandpiper and the killdeer were not new. We actually both crossed them off either earlier or at least in the last couple episodes. I think the last episode actually was a really good killdeer video. Same thing with the first spotted sandpiper for the year. I did get the least sandpiper, which is a really cool one. I did not get a photo of it, sadly, or any decent audio, maybe like a little click or something like that. I don't know. It was just in a really bad spot too, and not to mention there was about 16 mockingbirds fighting, so it was really hard to relocate it after that. But overall, no warblers, but I'm really satisfied with today. A bunch of lifers, a bunch of new year ticks as well. Closing in on 150 out of my 200 already, so that's going to be pretty solid as we go into the busy year. But that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Thank you all so much. I cannot wait to get started with my very long drive, so I may get some sleep. I need a nap after this before dinner. I really do. But thank you all so much for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you found it fun or helpful in any way. Let me know of what cool birding locations that you guys are currently going to, and follow me on Instagram if you guys want to keep in touch with all of the awesome birds in the world and all the locations that I go to. It's a lot of fun on there, and I'll see you next time. Have fun, everybody. Alright, hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel for another episode of my big birding year in 2025. Yep, I slept. It is officially, we're a little over halfway through April now, and it is a great time to be alive for a birder. We have new birds every single day. It seems like every few hours here in Pennsylvania are finally coming in. I'm fresh off of my New Jersey trip to Sandy Hook, so we're over 140 birds. I would love this week if we can get about 150, but the warblers are arriving, the orioles, the hummingbirds, all that good stuff. So Pennsylvania is finally in a good spot where the weather is nice, and yes, I'm a little beat up from some sunburn. I just bought a sun hat. I'm gonna be that guy now. I'm moving into my middle age crisis at the ripe age of 27. But it is beautiful outside today. I have a couple hours before work, so we're going to do North Park and maybe Grings Mill, and Wyomissing and Kutztown, respectively. Well, opposite, whatever. You know what I mean by now. If you've seen my videos, I hit a lot of these same spots heavy. But this is definitely one of my good luck spots. Northern House Wren and Baltimore Oriole. Ruby-throated hummingbird is a little bit early as well, but essentially just warblers, hummingbirds, orioles, everything is on the table, as well as some shorebirds. There's still some species I would definitely like to knock off in April, but May is obviously going to be some chaos, so I'm really excited. I'm glad I'm gonna try and focus on a few more spots in May. It's just, you know, I'm trying not to chase a lot of the common species that are going to be here in bulk here pretty soon, so I'm trying to balance everything out and still try and fish as well. So yeah, I'm really excited. Now let's get out there, guys.
All right, well, that was honestly more successful than I thought it would be. Northern House Run on the year, which I got audio for, but no visual, sadly. Like, I got to see it, just not through my camera, sadly. It was through my binoculars. Gray Catbird, first of the year, which I believe I actually did get a couple pictures of as well. And a lifer, which was the black and white warbler. Sadly, it was calling. One of the other birders near me saw its head for a brief second, but that was it. So I'm going to post the audio if it got pretty decent. That is a lifer and another new species on the year. Potentially the first Baltimore Oriole as well. I believe I heard it calling, but I was not able to locate it, so that I'm gonna have to kind of go into the field for and see. We had a weird raptor fly over. I'm gonna try and ID that a little bit later as well. I think it's a juvenile bald eagle, but we shall see. But yeah, overall, really good session. Got some decent photos. I wish I could have gotten better stuff of the warbler, of course, but hopefully that will not be the first, or it's the first, but hopefully far from the last that we're gonna see the black and white warbler this year. All right, I'm aware that this hat probably looks stupid, but it's really comfy and it keeps the sun out of my head. So we're gonna rock the Outdoor Research sun hat. But anyways, we're at Blue Marsh we're at Lake Onalani in Berks County doing one of the, you can hear the millions of blue jays yelling at me through the woods here. Doing one of the side trails with one of the creeks that actually connect into it. And I've had some very good luck today. So I came here primarily for a common yellowthroat that's been spotted at the bridge. Got to hear it a bunch, but like everybody else, has failed to grab a photo of it. I stayed there for 15 minutes, nothing. But it's not the last of the yellowthroats that I'll see this year, so not too worried about it. The big surprise of the day was the solitary sandpiper. Beautiful bird, lifer for me. Got tons of photos, video, and it chirped once for an audio recording. So very solid. Just doing a little bit more of the trail before I move on to my next location. But what a beautiful day. I'm so happy I got another sandpiper. What's been really exciting for April, this is my very first month where I've crossed over 100 species that I've seen in 1 month, so that is super exciting for me. I'm probably rearing around 105 to 110 right now, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that's been a dream for a while, to hit 100 species. I hit 98, was my highest previous, but between Sandy Hook and spring migration, yeah, it's a doozy right now. But I love it. I'm so excited. It's been such a good month. All right, moved on to State Game Lands 280. Never had a ton of luck here. Hopefully gonna try and switch that around. Plenty of birds to look for, you know, between the wood thrushes and plenty of warblers, hummingbirds, all that good stuff. Onalani treated us well, so at least that's a good sign. The blue jays and the flickers are all screaming at each other, so it's very loud here, but hopefully gonna get something good. So, another common yellowthroat. Still can't get a picture of the darn thing. There goes. Oh, hold on. There's my brown thrasher. All right, apparently all I had to do was start talking. Brown Thrasher and Common Yellowthroat were both bouncing around me, one of which is new as of an hour ago, one of which is new as of now. I was going to say that I've never heard so many of these birds calling that just like won't come out. Couldn't find any on the binoculars, and as I started filming, a Brown Thrasher flew in front of me, got a couple nice photos and a video of it, and then as I turned around, a Common Yellowthroat, two pictures. He was flirting with a female goldfinch. You know, like color, but I think he has the species wrong. So yeah, another new species. That's the Brown Thrasher on the year. It is a good day. I would love for a wood thrush yet, but I've lucked out on so many species today. I don't know if I'm going to get another one. All right, well, this spot and today are proving very fruitful. We had a warbling vireo flyby. I caught a tiny bit of audio of it chirping, but I don't even know if it's going to be worth trying. I'll try and edit it, see if I can increase the volume, but it was super faint. That is a really exciting one, actually. A little early, but just like most of these birds, I mean, this is end of April, so pretty standard when you'd expect stuff to start heating up. And right down here is some like just a little creek flow and some lying water. And I was watching a swamp sparrow there earlier. Well, watching for it, it kept calling down here in the brushes pretty hard. Seen quite a few of them this year, still haven't gotten a good photo, so I'm really after that one. And I am 99% sure I'm going to go through some pictures later in a field guide. A Louisiana water thrush, not the rarest bird in the world here. It would be a lifer for me. Literally sat in the water for 1 second, and I saw the darker brown back, and everything's pointing towards water thrush. I mean, this is a location for them, perfect habitat. And I think it happened to see me and immediately dart. But that would be amazing if I can pull off another lifer today. So if I did, I'll have it popped up here. If not, I decided not to count it personally. I think I'm going to. Like, it was a clear view, me 8 feet away at the most. And I wish I could have gotten a photo. But with 1 second, you know, there's just only so much reaction time you can have when you're chasing down swamp sparrows, you know? I am nearly out of time for when I have to leave for work, sadly. I don't know if I can reach the the creek from this side, but I am going to try and just get some views of the water, see if maybe that water thrush popped down there or not. Just had a couple of chipping sparrows fly past. I think it's a 30 it's like 30 or 31 species already for this spot in about an hour, so that is unbelievable. All right, I'm at Leaser Lake in Lehigh, PA now. Talking quiet because there's a lot of people out here fishing and hiking, and there are just birds everywhere. Tree swallows. I finally got perfect pictures and video of a tree swallow. So that was beautiful. I got a lifer actually. The minute I came down to the lakeside here, a bank swallow. Got a perfect view through my binoculars. Could not get a photo, but it was a dead center view. Compared it to rough-winged swallow, of course, which is the more common version, and yeah, just the white patterns around the face and the body. So yeah, that is a lifer for me. I'm hoping to get a picture, but there is like 50 plus tree swallows out here, and I think some northern rough-winged as well, so I'll try and get one. I'm mainly here post big storm. It's been raining for the past 8 hours, and it's still looming around in the background here. I'm here for warblers, hopefully some post-storm warblers. The spot has had some pretty decent species reported here. I've had a pipit calling me back here, and I'm still after a photo of that bird too, but just will not come out of the brush. But it is loud with breeding birds here right now, so you know, I've got birds literally walking up to me. This is beautiful. So hopefully we're going to cross off some more species today. Fingers crossed to some warblers, but we shall see. All right, well, the Weather Channel, Weather Department, whatever you want to call it, continues to bat 1,000. Oh, storms are done at 2 p.m. today. No, it's not. So I'm going to double back to my car. I should have brought my rain jacket. I said, I trust the Weather Channel. My mistake. I got purple martins buzzing me a little bit. Can't get a damn photo of them. That is one of the species that through the past couple of years I've always struggled to get pictures of. Same thing with the tree swallow. So they do nest here, so maybe I can get lucky and one will be sitting around for me like the tree swallows were. But I'm hustling back to my car, grabbing my rain gear, and we're gonna go on from there. Alright, I have hiked about half of this lake now. I'm up at the pretty much north end. It's been a terrible day for warblers, not a single one. I think common yellowthroat actually was it. Outside of the goldfinches for the yellowbirds for the day. I said earlier that I got my bank swallow. I actually just got my very first cliff swallow as well. All the way out there. I'm desperately trying to get a picture. Thank God for some good binoculars, by the way. It's a real life changer. I'm about to call it quits here soon. I just had a solitary sandpiper go buzzing by and a mystery raptor. I'm thinking Cooper's hawk, which isn't exactly rare, but just the way it was behaving was a little bit different. So, I'm doing some research on that one as we go. But yeah, slow day for warblers. God's day on Earth for swallows, apparently. All right, well, I said no warblers. Palm warbler popped out right at the tree after I was done. Not new for the year, but it is always nice to see. Crossed off a bunch of other species. Had a Louisiana water thrush calling from somewhere in the woods. My phone is on about 7%, and I got a 50-minute walk back, so I'm going to try and not make this very long. I think I may have had an eastern kingbird back there, but couldn't see it. I'll go through my audio tonight to see if that Merlin pin was accurate. There goes a very large great blue heron. So we shall see. But I think I'm up to 50 species on the nose for this location in one run. That is a really, really good time. That is arguably the best I've ever done. All right, I'm at Grings Mill in Wyomissing, PA. I do this place a lot for birding and fishing. One of my absolute favorites. It's the Little Gem. If you can hear the birds yelling at me behind me, they're the blue-gray gnatcatchers and some blue jays, I think, having a little bit of a dispute. Just got my first great crested flycatcher. I got some really good audio. Never came out of the bush, but it sounded very clear to me. There are tons and tons of sirens going past. This is the first break there's been in them for a while due to a vehicle on fire down the road, so hopefully everybody's okay with that. But unfortunately, I've been told I have about an hour plus drive outside of here to get home. So that is unfortunate due to the traffic and 3 car accidents, apparently. So we're going to be hanging out here for a while. I'm on a warbler search, of course, but the great crested flycatcher is one of my favorites in PA in general. So definitely a bird I want to get a photo of, but I will take some audio at least. So we're going to keep hunting for some warblers and maybe some photo ops for some birds that, like a chimney swift, we haven't gotten a photo of yet. We'll see. So I had Merlin ping a couple of chimney swifts, and incredibly high up, the little, oh, we got wood ducks flying over. And I was watching chimney swifts, and as I'm walking forward, a bird almost quite literally hits me, yes, in my giant head. And I'm looking around, I said, what was that? My first ever northern parula, which is a beautiful warbler, one of the species I've been desperately after as a life lister for my 2025 goal list, and it almost hit me right in the head. Landed, chirped a couple times, got on a Merlin, flew away. I hope it got through the wind, but it was beautiful. So very, very excited. That is a lifer, and obviously 2 new ones, one for the year. So that is awesome. It was slow. I was worried. I just saw a goose on her nest, which was also adorable. No pictures or video of that. Obviously, that was very much walk past and just mind my distance and business. But that is super exciting. Alright, so I'm at Union Meadows Park in Birdsboro, and there are just dozens upon dozens of pretty solid birds just hopping around. I am surrounded by eastern towhees, Still haven't seen one. They've been screaming this whole time. I did just knock off red-eyed vireo. No video, sadly, just because it was really high up in the tree, and I could not grab a solid one, but I did get some audio and some photos. Orbling vireo, bouncing around pretty hard. Still need a photo of that bad boy, too. I'm in, like, the little swampy area, so we're going to see how that goes, but got brief audio and brief visual, no picture, of a wood thrush, not a lifer for me, but a bird that's been on my hot list for this month. So we are ending April, hopefully with a bang here. It's April 30th. I'm hoping to go fishing tomorrow, so my allergies are destroying my life right now. Allegra, you're doing your best, but I'm dying out here, so as the season grows on, I know my allergies are going to be a big thing to concern myself with, and there are also ticks everywhere in here, so we're gonna see if we can't knock off a few species. I also saw my first snapping turtle of the year, thankfully from a distance. All right, so after Union Meadows, on May 1st, so right after April obviously ended, I went to film a fishing video at my friend's private pond, and the video for fishing went great. Posted that a few weeks ago. However, there was amazing birding there. Now, I was filming a fishing video and fishing while doing this. No idea when my camera decided to say it's darker in here now. Nothing has changed. But I did like a couple of like walkarounds, trying to do some birding as well, and crossed off some really interesting birds. Crossed off my very first bobolink, which was really, really cool. I crossed off my first, I believe, chestnut-sided warbler as well. So overall it went well, and I have a couple photos. I wasn't videotaping anything, so that's kind of where it's tough. Like, I got a couple of the green heron. There's like potentially 2+ mating pair down there right now, which is pretty cool. And I know this is, you know, a little hastily. All of my recordings are gone. I don't know where they are. I don't know if they're on some random flash drive when I was editing elsewhere. I don't know. Which is fine. I didn't lose anything important, just me talking, but like it was on location, so it's a little bit nicer than, you know, El Lego room here. But in terms of down here, I crossed off a few nice ones. The bobolink, which is a lifer for me, which is also species 165, which is pretty cool. Then the yellow warbler, not a lifer, but, you know, got that. I did get a really, really awful photo of it, but it exists. You know, they're everywhere, but you'll trust me. I'm recording this well in advance of what I've currently been doing in birding. You'll see a lot of good warbler shots here coming up. And then there was the orchard oriole, which I don't know if the audio guy, again, trying to film a fishing video, wasn't birding. And then the chestnut-sided warbler, which is pretty cool. So that is going to be this little, like, area here. Again, of course, if I would have went down with the intention of birding, I would have seen nothing. I went with the intention of fishing. And, you know, I'm not chasing birds around through the woods with a GoPro. It's not my style. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm also going to do a couple tech videos here coming up because I just upgraded to my first elk series lens. So very exciting things. But yes, so we're officially in May for this video. Now, after this is going to be the end of this video. This is going to be all from North Park in Kutztown. I've birded there many times. I have more things for that, but kind of like the weird in between of where I was. Again, it's private, so not a shared location, but it was very successful. Bobolink especially is not a bird I expected to see this year. Chestnut-sided I've had since this recording. Orchard oriole and yellow warbler I've had many times, but I wish I could have gotten more of those things. I'm gonna head down there in the next couple weeks anyway, so hopefully during that filming I can do a little bit better. But sorry, I know these little segments aren't always the most exciting things, but hey, gotta keep you in the loop somehow. Hello, editing me again from the future. So, quick change of plans. So, quite literally, it is on my screen. I'm finishing this video. This is going to be a really short video. This is the bridge in between finishing off April and the start of May. And yes, this obviously takes place between April 30th and May 1st, the official start of, the busy season for spring. However, for the next episode, I'm going to save the North Park stuff, because it's going to be called the Warbler episode. You know what's coming. That's a lot of warblers. So I'm going to leave it off here. I know it was a lot of just rushing around and getting some stuff done. And again, trying to film a fishing video, and I didn't expect the Warbler Day that's coming for you guys here. But I'll talk about that a little bit more in the next episode as well. But thank you all so much for all the support this year. Again, learning essentially really how to bird and how to be a bird photographer and how to be a bird YouTuber. All of this is a lot of learning for me this year. And, between 2 channels, 2 TikToks, 4 Instagrams, and everything else that comes with this, it's a madhouse, but I enjoy it. So thank you all so much. I really do appreciate all the beautiful comments about all of the birding pictures, the videos between this and Instagram. It's an absolute blast. I'm really heavily enjoying myself. The videos take ungodly amounts of time to edit, just to go through all the pictures, especially like I did John Hines, and you'll see this weeks later. I did 1,000 pictures in the first few hours. It's like, oh wow, that's so cool. Oh no, I have to edit those. So these videos do just take some time. That's why I try and do every Wednesday, but sometimes, depending on how life went, it just didn't happen. So I do try and still meet that schedule. So I'm going to be doing some more tech reviews of this lens, my beginner lens. I want to talk about my camera equipment as well. I just bought a new spotting scope. I have another pair of, nope, I already did the binoculars. So I have a few things to talk to you guys about. Just on the technical side, if you're trying to get into this, or if you're looking for some different camera equipment, I do shoot only Canon as of now. However, I'm looking to get a backup older camera, just to kind of play around with. So we'll see. But thank you all so much for all the support. I hope you have and had an amazing spring migration. Summer, obviously hit or miss. We have some really crazy birds here right now, which are pretty cool. So I've been chasing some vagrants and stuff like that for future videos. But it's amazing. This year has gone way faster and way better than I ever expected or anticipated. So I'm very thankful for that. But thank you guys so much as always for all the support. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you find it fun, entertaining, helpful, whatever else. If you just like birds, follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Check out my eBird. I'll have everything linked in the description below, and I'll see you next time. Happy birding, everybody. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm actually filming a different video that you guys will see, well, depending on how this camera review goes, you will see it a few weeks later, but I wanted to do a quick intro for this episode, essentially named the Warbler episode. So, it's a tough one to make a full video off of, because it was the greatest Warbler day I could have ever imagined here for Pennsylvania. It was breathtaking in every way. A lot of audio, not a lot of pictures. So it's a lot of like trying to pick out like decent audio, remix it and stuff like that so you guys can actually hear it. So it's just been a little bit tough. So this episode for the Warblers will have a lot of audio. Some of them, the audio did not get good enough. The pictures did not get good enough. The problem with the Warblers is, you have massive trees here. They're all sitting up top of the trees, and some of them, like the worm-eating warbler, spoiler alert, got some beautiful shots of, but not everything else. I'm reviewing a new camera today, by the way, so that's super exciting. But I wanted to do this is like my 5th intro for this video, for the Warbler episode, just because I keep trying to like change it up a little bit and fix some things. But it was a tough one to overall get done, which is the reason it was a little bit late. But hey, it happens. Maybe I'll post an extra birding video for you guys to make up for it. But yeah, I'm gonna go back to filming here. Hopefully this new camera works out well as my backup camera. It's been a rough experience so far, but hey, it happens. Got pink feet.
Back over here, please.
Alright, so I apologize that this video was a short one again, and I wish I could have gotten more photos. Trust me, my goal to get a photograph of every bird that I've ever recorded is very high on my priority list. Same thing with audio. Audio is a little bit tougher, but for this one, it was, swapped. So after this, obviously at the end of this video, and I literally just finished it, editing it now, we are at 183 species out of 200. It's amazing. This entire video was just May 2nd. I was birding with another partner. His name was Brian. Amazing guide. Fantastic, dude. He is incredible in terms of birding. Late last year, he was actually teaching me how to spot waterfowl and use a spotting scope and use a longer lens and stuff like that. So, it was nice to connect with him again. Hence the reason I didn't do a lot of videoing, just because I was trying to learn. Basically, this was my very first warbler chase, in any variety. So that was definitely awesome. The Wilson's warbler was a really nice surprise. I quite literally looked at it, lifted up my camera, flew away, and I heard it. That was the last it was really ever seen in there, so it was wonderful to see. I'm glad I got some audio at least, but yeah, very unexpected in terms of a warbler species there. But thank you guys so much for joining me for another birding video. I'm going to try and do another one, maybe 2 next week, just to make up because this was a couple days late. It's not even that there was a lot more for this episode since it's the short one. It was just a lot more photos and a lot more audio to go through, and editing out a 10-minute audio clip to 3 seconds and trying to get it right and trying to balance it out is a real pain. So thank you guys so much. I hope your birding year is going as well as mine is. Stay safe out there. I have another week of rain, I think, coming, so it's really slow right now, but hey, it happens. So good luck, everybody, and happy birding. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel for another birding video. So I split this video and the next one into 2. There's a very specific reason for that, and I will talk about that in the next video. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It has to do with catching, or seeing, I should say, my 200th lifer. And I wanted that to kind of be its own video, just like a special one in there. Now this one all takes place at Leaser Lake. However, the reason I'm switching the intro is because of the next episode, and there's going to be some reused photos from the last episode, and that's because I'm trying to mix around my storage situation. Basically, I edit sometimes on my laptop, on my phone, and on my desktop. I've even edited on my tablet. However, then they don't share all the way across sometimes. So sometimes I misplace some files, and it's always videos. It's always the videos. And specifically, there was a good one of the Cardinal, Baltimore Oriole, and I can't remember the third or fourth one. So I'm going to be putting them at the start of this episode real quick. They are from last episode, but then, at least I got to use them. It was just really nice videos, and especially for the short series, I need those. So, basically those are going to be the only things out of place, but the rest of this episode, maybe some stragglers at the end, depending on how everything looks, is going to all be at Leaser Lake. This all is on I believe May 5th or 6th, really early in May. So May was incredibly terrific in every single way. So this video does take place right there, and then I'll try and combine a little bit more after that. It's just the next episode I wanted to do, birding, lifer number 200 is a special one. So I wanted to do that, just separate those, and I didn't want to reuse the photos without bringing it to your attention. So I wanted to do it that way. So yeah. Thanks as always for joining me for another video. Now let's get out there. Alright, so this is probably going to be, I would say, a quicker video, just kind of in the middle. In all of my travels this year, I'm officially at 199 species of birds on my life list. Not for this year, close to this year. I've seen pretty much every bird in my life this year. And I am 0 for 3 now. I chased the red-throated loon, severe storms hit, and then I had to call off the chase. Just got down here to French Creek. This is actually Big Woods Trail in Hopewell, just above French Creek State Park, to chase a little blue heron, which has been super photogenic for the past week, and I got nothing. And then I chased, what else did I chase? I can't remember. I can't remember what else I was chasing. But 0 for 3. And my thing for my 200th bird is there's a lot of options, and it's warbler season, so there are a ton of beautiful warblers still to see And the problem is, well, especially when you're chasing them in the woods, you don't always get to see them. And I'm trying to get like great photos for my 200th because like it is really, really special. And now this is kind of my last resort for the next couple days. Storms, and I am so ungodly behind on editing and gaming and stuff like that for the other channel. So I'm here chasing prairie warblers, and I've heard them. I've got my 200th bird. I'm very excited, like legitimately thrilled. Now I need some photos. I got a couple calling up here. I got a couple calling right there. Right there is a prairie warbler, but they're sitting really far down in this woods, and I've got about a half hour left. So I'm gonna try and get a photo. I just want a photo, just a decent photo. See, they're calling. So this, I don't know if this will be a full video or if I'm going to maybe put this in front of my May 10th Big Birding Day video. I don't know yet, but this is officially the chase for my 200th lifer. I'm really excited. I might throw in footage from maybe some other places just to kind of like make the video itself a little bit longer, because, you know, again, I've been chasing these couple birds now for the past couple days, and it's just been really crappy weather and just poor circumstances and all that good stuff. But I see some birds up here a little bit further, so I'm gonna go try and get a photo. But yeah, welcome to my 200th bird hunt. I got it. I sat in the grass here with all these little grasshoppers and all the bees and probably all the spider bites I took, and just parked in front of an opening where there was a prairie warbler to my left and then one dead center. And it's surrounded by some indigo buntings, species that I've crossed off this list, but one that I have a meh photo of. So it's like, all right, regardless, I hope I see something. One prairie warbler sat in one tree for 10 seconds, and I took every picture I possibly could, and I got at least a couple that are perfectly fine for me. So I'm so happy. That is bird number 200, ladies and gentlemen, on my life, and I'm very excited. Obviously there's people with thousands out there, but it's a very, very exciting, memorable bird, and I'm so happy that I got to see it. And there's more calling up here, there's more calling to my left, to my right, back, front, they're everywhere. So hopefully I can get maybe a video or a picture, but I'm so excited. So thank you all so much for just, you know, an amazing first birding year for me, and it's just been fantastic, and we are almost there. Now the video after this will be for May 10th, which is going to be Global Big Birding Day. I don't know where I'm going and where I've been. I don't know where I'm going yet, but obviously, you know, you guys will figure that out when I do. I'm just so excited. Like, this is a pure, genuine smile. Like, I don't think I've stopped smiling in the since I've taken those pictures, and that was like a mile back. But watch, I could be late for work for this. Prairie warbler takes priority, but I'm just so excited. I'm so happy that I got to see it too. Like, yeah, I appreciate the audio, but obviously you really want to get a picture of every bird that you can, and you know, that's one of my goals. Audio too, but yep, that's another one. Well, sadly never came out of the brush down here, but not a lifer. However, it is a lifer for me for Pennsylvania and Berks County, which is pretty cool. Yellow-breasted chat, a beautiful, amazing bird. I've seen one in Jersey when I was filming my bowfin fishing video last year. at Greenwich Lake and I think London Branch. Just had my first one in PA call. It called twice. One when I was walking, and I've been watching some of like the field sparrows over here just to double check because we've had Lincoln sparrows and Vesper sparrows popping up in PA. And I said, all right, might as well check them. Had the yellow-breasted chat called twice from down here. I don't know if it flew back further. I don't know if I got a little bit too close, but that is awesome. That is another species for the year as well. Another species for PA knocked off. So wow, this trail has been absolutely amazing. I'm so happy right now. Okay, in a ridiculous turn of events, I just got a blue-winged warbler, which is also a lifer for me. So number 201, and literally right down the little path here, number 202, the white-eyed vireo. I got video and photos of the warbler. However, the white-eyed vireo, it's moving farther down, so I got the audio for it, but no photos. I haven't even seen it yet. Well, I lie. I've seen it fly away from me while I'm looking at indigo buntings, but wow, what a sudden turn of events. I don't know where I'm at for the month right now. Hello, mating tree spalls. But I am really close to my 200, so wow. I'm genuinely so happy right now. This has been an unbelievable past just 15 minutes of my day. All right, I am freezing cold. I just came from a very, very long day at work, and Pennsylvania, specifically Berks and Lehigh County, got one amazing surprise today, and that was an influx of a few black terns. That is near county record, I think, for both, and it is a very rare bird around here, and would have definitely proven a lifer. I've been following them all day. One was at Leaser Lake, which you guys have seen me go to before, along with an injured white-winged scoter. Sadly, it looks like both of them had flown off in terms of the black tern and the white-winged scoter. The scoter would have been new for me for a PA too, so I was actually going to make the trip there. However, closer to my job, Lake Onalani, well, one of my favorite spots to bird and go fishing and stuff like that. Got a black tern, potentially 2 this morning as well. So that was many hours ago. I got to Lake Onalani here about 45 minutes ago or so. It is almost in the 40s. I'm in shorts. I literally have nothing but a rain jacket on, but essentially over the past few days we have experienced some really high winds, flooding, bad storms, and basically storms are awful for some. However, for bird watchers, it is potentially a gold mine because it forces seabirds, gulls, and birds of all kind to land. And so a lot of people, pun intended, flock to big lakes like this and like Blue Marsh, whatever local big lake you have. And that's why we saw these black terns. It just happened to be a big storm in migration season, which, like tropical storms, if you've seen the big year, like fallout and stuff like that. Those that obviously an extreme case, but that's what this was basically. And I am incredibly excited to announce that I did get to see it. Now, I don't know how the video got. I got one photo that's at least useful, and that's okay with me. I had to sit practically in the water to get it. I am freezing. I really hope I don't get sick for big birding day tomorrow. But I am incredibly excited. So, shout out to everybody that found that bird earlier. Amazing. So I'm super excited. I may have gotten a video of it, but when I mean far away, I mean across the lake. So I'm incredibly excited. It is a mess out here. Just saw a cliff swallow earlier too. Again, not a lifer, but new one for the month in Onalani, I think. So Wow, what a day. I'm so excited. Again, similar to the last video, depending on how like recording times go, I'm probably going to shoehorn this in at the end because I want to do a full like big birding day video, but we shall see. I'm trying to, this was my day off to not bird because of the weather, and just, you know, I need a day here and there not to bird and hike and stuff like that. But when I saw a black tern, and I notoriously love terns, I don't see many, and I don't want to ramble on too much, obviously, but I'm just so excited. It is it's an incredible bird for here, and it was beautiful to see. I got to see it actually dive, which was really cool. And my spotting scope and I are breaking up too after this. It's garbage in this overcast conditions, so and it looks like a vortex is coming soon. But yeah, I'm so excited, guys. I'm gonna make sure to at least put that photo in as of doing this. Literally, this was moments ago. I got one good photo of it potentially holding something in its mouth too, but I think it was blocked a little bit. But just being such a far distance and such a smaller bird, it is really tough. So I'm super happy to the binoculars and stuff that I can see it. But wow, what a lifer. Number 195. What a bird to do it on too. I'm so happy right now.